Next on Saratoga Live, 4-year-old filly, Your Love, makes her second start of the year for two-time Eclipse Award-winning trainer Chad Brown. Can she notch the first stakes win of her career in the Shine Again? The last time Heavenly Score moved back from turf to dirt, she aired by open length. She makes that same move again this afternoon. Come Dancing ran huge off a 6-month break, a 4.5-length win that came just 7 days ago right here at Saratoga. She looks to become the meet's first multiple winner this season, and we'll look back on the Whitney draw from Tuesday night, see who's lining up, where they'll break from, and who is the horse to beat. Couple of New York breds look like they are going to be awfully tough in that one this Saturday. Hello, everyone, and welcome to Saratoga Live. It is presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual unusually well. Fans packing it in for another week of racing here on Saratoga Live. Good to have you with us, where we bring you up close and personal inside America's most historic racetrack, where fans flock to every year to see some of the best in the game, and where each year new stars arise potentially in each and every race. That's what it seems like. Greg Wolf alongside Gabby Gaudet, and this weekend we're very much looking forward to one of the most prestigious races in the entire country in the Whitney and Diversify. The original plan was the Woodward, but he's been so good. He's come out of the Suburban feeling so tremendous. Those plans changed. And his Suburban arguably could have been one of his most impressive performances to date. But as you kind of mentioned, Rick Violet, his trainer, bypassing the original plan and pointing him towards the Whitney. And the interesting thing about him, too, is, Greg, he kind of looks like the controlling speed in the Whitney. And as Rick says, you're supposed to run horses when they're doing well, and that's the case with Diversify. He's actually gained weight since the Suburban, so onwards and upwards potentially for this horse. We know Dalmore's connection. He's a huge long shot. They want to try and get to the front as well. Rick Violet has said if they're intent on going to the front, we'll be fine just sitting behind them. But off what he did in the Suburban, you're exactly right. He's going to be very tough to beat. I don't think anybody can run with him. Doesn't seem like it. They certainly could not in the Suburban. Get signed up, get started, play along with Naira Bets. You can bet all season long with all the races we show you here on the show. A $200 new member sign-up bonus. You can take advantage of it by using the promo code Saratoga Live. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. Go to NairaBets.com or download the NairaBets app to get started. Good sequence coming up today in our feature race, a very competitive Shine Again. To talk more about that race coming up, let's check in downstairs with New York Racing Association handicapper Andy Serling and former New York Met and LA Dodger Paul Lo Duca.
Thanks a lot, Greg. And one of the great things about Saratoga, races are named for horses and people that are such memorable parts of our game. And Shine Again, a wonderful filly who ran for the great trainer Alan Jerkins, the late trainer Alan Jerkins. Always good to remember the greats in the game. And this is a race where you've got some horses, Paul, that are knocking on the door to try to take that step forward to run against some of the best horses. And Your Love is kind of the typical horse on the precipice of graded stakes.
Yeah, and listen, when you look at Your Love, you see a lot of quality in this horse. 7 career starts, 3 wins, 3 seconds. You got Chad Brown in your corner. You got Javier Castellano in your corner. A lot of positives, but does this horse really have to step up? She's eaten up a lot of money at the window, and this is probably going to be her toughest field she's faced to date.
I don't disagree with you, and I'll tell you something else. It's 7/8 of a mile today, 7 furlongs.
Yeah.
That could be a little bit of a stretch beyond her best, and I was talking to Javier Castellano, the rider, a little earlier, and he said to me, this is a ride he wished he had back. Things didn't go that well in here, and she ran well enough, but you know, she didn't run that much better, frankly, than Yorkie Boo Princess, who's going to face her again today. I think this is a very competitive race.
Yeah, it is. And when you see the comment, you see that the horse stumbled at the start. It was a legit stumble. Might have took a tiny bit of steam out of her late, but I thought she got back up and got into stride quick enough where it wasn't that much of an excuse. But she still is the horse to beat. I don't really love the outside draw, especially for a stalker, because there is some pace in the race.
We'll see what happens. It is a competitive race, and in the paddock, Maggie Wolfendale has more on today's featured Shine Again.
Contender we see in here, guys, is number 4, Come Dancing, who just ran exactly 1 week ago here at the spa. She was coming back off of about a 7-month layoff and got the job done here pretty easily overall in that July 25th effort. Now, Carlos Martin, her trainer, he is no stranger to doing this. Over the past 5 years, 6 to 10 days between races, he's actually 5 for 27. And just here at Saratoga, he's done this before with 2 horses that have won twice in a week and won exactly 1 week after its former win. So Come Dancing, while she hasn't had many starts on the racetrack because she is somewhat fragile, when she shows up, she is awfully brilliant. We'll see how she does, as Carlos says that she is training better than ever out of that race. So Greg, an interesting horse coming in off that short layoff.
Yes, she is. Is she going to be this year's Voodoo Song, who would win 4 races at the meet last year, became a fan favorite? We will see. Looking for her second of the meet already. Weather and track conditions presented by Piranha Fly Spray, the preferred fly spray of Saratoga Racecourse. Piranha on pests. Gone fast and firm. We're going to kick things off in race 7. It kicks off the late pick 4 sequence. It's on the inner turf at a mile. New York breds in an entry-level allowance. The 8th race, our feature in the Shine Again at 7/8 of a mile. Race 9, a turf sprints. And we will close things out in the 10th for non-winners of 2 lifetime on the main track, sprinting 6 furlongs. 7th race will kick it all off for us. So again, 1 mile over the inner turf, New York bred company. And look at this board, it is wide open. Saratoga Colonel right now, Gabby, the 9-2 favorite.
And things definitely changed when the 3 Crossways was scratched earlier because he really did look like the horse to beat, in my opinion. But Saratoga Colonel, you wonder if he kind of needed his last race and actually if he could kind of continue to improve this year.
Paul LaDuca, we asked him to put together a pick 4 ticket. Good luck, Paul.
Yeah, I know. This is such a tough sequence. As you can see, 5 by 5. And yeah, when I put in my ticket, it won 3. No, it was a 13 in the last. And I'm just going to try to get to that horse. First time gelding. I think he's the quick of the quick. But I thought this race was very difficult. There's so many different ways. I'm even leaving Saratoga Colonel off. I thought I was finding something with Sorami Justin in here, but I guess I'm not. 30-1 morning line on the 9, 6-1. In race number 8, I'm covering all my bases, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Race number 9, listen, that's a tough race. Uncle Yudge, Frisky Magician. I'll take my shot with Dowse's Beach just because Joe Sharp, everything he throws out is live. The last race, again, like I said, I thought the 13, Money Laundering, if he gets back to anywhere of those races and gets to the front end, he's going to be tough.
You can earn a 10% winner's bonus on the Shine Again Stakes in today's show with the Naira Bets app. Hit the try in our feature on the app. Score that bonus. For the full schedule of Saratoga promos throughout the meets, go to NairaBets.com. We're going to step aside for a short break in the action. Just getting started here on this Wednesday afternoon on Saratoga Live. And the first leg of the late pick 4 is coming up.
Grade 1 winner Lee traveled the world competing against the best of his generation. A graded stakes winner on both dirt and turf, he set a new track record in the Grade 1 Don Handicap and retired with earnings of more than $2.3 million. Now his flashy first crop yearlings are turning heads with a striking resemblance to their internationally successful sire. The sky's the limit for this promising young stallion. Lee, standing at Claiborne Farm.
They're on. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Success starts at Saratoga. The Saratoga Selected Yearling Sale has established a reputation for high quality and high performance. Recent graduates include Grade 1 winners Avenge, Bolt d'Oro, and Moonshine Memories, and 2017 Breeders' Cup champions Battle of Midway, Stormy Liberal, and Rushing Fall. The nation's #1 sale by percentage of Grade 1 winners. The Fasig-Tipton Saratoga Sale, August 6th and 7th.
We found Breeders' Cup champion Rushing Fall at Saratoga. Where will you be?
Back on Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 2 and other regional networks across the country. Good to have you with us on this Wednesday afternoon. New York Racing Association honored police officers, firefighters, EMTs, and paramedics during First Responders Appreciation Day today, presented by Brookview Village. They were all honored during the day's second race, which was named in honor of first responders. 12 minutes away from race 7 coming up. There's that little ceremony there in that second race. It's time for a paddock report right now. We're going to check in with Maggie Wolfendale. It is brought to you by Hillendale Farm, now standing Curlin for $150,000. Hi, Maggie.
Hey, Greg. And yes, this is a big field of 12 horses, and we're going to see a very lukewarm favorite. Currently, it is #1 in here who has yet to step foot on the turf. That is #1, Take It to Scale for trainer Chad Brown, who, yes, is a son of Into Mischief, whom they presumably can handle pretty much anything. I've seen them like turf, dirt, slop, doesn't matter. But on the bottom side, the dam was not very good in her turf tries. So that right there puts a little bit of hesitation in my mind, and I wish I could be a little bit more definitive in my observations here, whether he'll like it or not, because at the end of the day, he is an extremely athletic looking individual, and I like that about him. He, as far as his hoof, it's kind of either way. It's not totally turf, and it's not totally not. So, like I said, he looks like a horse who's doing well, and he won very convincingly first time out, though that field might need to be called into question as far as its overall quality. But he looks fantastic here in the paddock. I cannot fault him whatsoever. Moving on to #12, that is Follow the Signs, who has been running as a gelding. I think when he made that December effort, he was a gelding at that point. So if you got that change, he has been running as one. And now third off the layoff, he just looks extremely fit. He's also extremely focused in here. That post position is not great. It's really probably the thing that's worst about him here. But other than that, I think he might get the right kind of setup today, and he looks the part. #10 is another one that I thought might get things to run into, a little pace to run into with Pocket Player here. And he's one that's second off a little bit of a layoff. And last time he just kind of got really hot and a little bit warm overall. Not to say that's out of character for him, but usually it's an indication of a horse that might need a start. Looks great here overall. So I think he's one that might deserve a look here, getting back into New York bred company. Andy Paul, over on the paddock set, what were your thoughts on this somewhat long shot Pocket Player?
Well, Pocket Player is a horse I like, Maggie, actually, and the horse that I picked on top in this race. And Paul, Pocket Player just seems to me like a horse that probably needed his last race. He hadn't run in just over 3 months, and he ran credibly. He made the first move against a fast pace in that race. I just think he's a horse whose races make him competitive, and he's a big price.
Yeah, and I don't think he was fully cranked up. And if you look at his races as a 4-year-old, they have gotten increasingly better. And that was a good starting point with his last race. And it was a fast race. He made a middle move. He got within 2.5 lengths, but then they took off away from him. He probably needed it.
Yeah, I just think he's one of several that can win, and he's 14-1 right now. Another who can win this race is right inside of him, the 9 Stormy Justin. Not familiar with the trainer. This horse was formerly trained by an ex-assistant, Artie Magnuson, who worked for Kieran McLaughlin, did a fine job. This horse ran fast enough as a 2-year-old to be competitive, and naturally progressing now a 3-year-old could easily be good enough to compete against these, Paul.
Yeah, he really could. Like I said, I thought I was finding something unique here, 30-1 in the morning line, but the public sniffed this one out at 7-1, and the son of Get Stormy is the New York bred, and Junior Alvarado's been on board before. He's a good turf rider. The works are nothing to scream about, but I never pay attention to the works when they go on the turf, and sometimes you look at the board and the horse is live.
And this is the kind of race we so often get in Saratoga, a race where the favorite right now is 4-1 because it's highly competitive. And the one take it to scale, it's obviously the Chad Brown factor, the leading trainer, Clips Award-winning trainer. Chad Brown, Javier Castellano drawing the rail, draws well in here. There's not a ton of turf pedigree, but one of the things that Chad Brown has excelled at as a trainer is getting horses with moderate turf pedigrees to win in the grass.
Well, I think the reason why, Andy, is he teaches his horses so well to settle. And, you know, when you win turf races, you need to save ground, you need to settle, and you need to finish. And a lot of his horses do that on dirt as well. Yeah, you're right. There's not a ton of turf pedigree in here. But how do you throw out Seth and how do you throw out Javier Castellano?
And the other thing is these 1-mile turf races here where they have sharp turns, the turns come very fast. To draw the inside, you're almost guaranteed to get good position, and you've got a big field here, 11 horses, or 12 horses. You're not necessarily going to get good position if you have the outside. And a horse like the 12 horse, Follow Signs, who can win, the difference in post position is going to be lengths.
It's going to be a lot of lengths. And the one thing that hurts Follow the Signs, he's got a lot of speed, so the post will hurt.
There are some other speeds in here, Greg.
Yes, there are, no doubt. So where you wind up positionally here, going to play big into who wins this race in the end. We're going to start off our post parade with Take It to Scale. 2016 Fasig-Tipton August sale graduate for Chad Brown, getting on the turf for the first time.
Horse of the boys we're just talking about, By Into Mischief, out of a mare who was 0 for 6 on the turf.
New Jersey John, the last 2 times Jose Lezcano was aboard. This horse won. Lezcano back on today.
Was able to set a slow pace in a small field last time. Much more speed to face in today's race.
15-1 on the 2. Alenzi the 4 for Mark Cassie. Tyler Gaffleone will be aboard, and this horse has some speed.
He's got a lot of speed, and the only way he can win is go to the front. The question is, how fast will he have to go to do that?
24-1 on the board on the son of Into Mischief. There he is. We'll see Phone Funky Monkey next, a 2016 Fasig-Tipton August sale grad for trainer David Dunk, and Eric Consell rides.
A horse who actually broke his maiden here at Saratoga last August, but his form hasn't gotten back to what he showed last year.
George Weaver trains a 2015 Fasig-Tipton August sale graduate, Saratoga Colonel.
Ran his career best race last time, but he was able to set a very slow pace on the front end. That's very unlikely to happen today.
Peeling Briefs the 7, a 2015 Fasig-Tipton October sale graduate, off the claim for Jorge Abreu.
Dropped in class last time out and got the W, but now for new connections, he's been well backed by the betting public for quite some time.
My old friend Shiraz back for more. Blinkers off and stretching out for Mike Maker.
We've certainly discussed Shiraz a lot on the show. He may be better going shorter than the longer distance he's going today.
Stormy Justin, a 2016 Fasig-Tipton August sale graduate, now in a new barn at Patricia Correa.
Showed some promise last year, but hasn't been seen since November at Aqueduct.
Pocket Player, the 10, a 2015 Fasig-Tipton August sale graduate for Tom Bush.
My top selection this race is second off a layoff and hopefully can improve off of his last effort.
Carthon, he tried the turf for the first time last out. He didn't run too bad over it. A 2015 Fasig-Tipton August sale graduate for Gary Siaka.
He was part of the pace that day, chasing Saratoga Colonel. Today, he looks to be forwardly placed again.
Yeah, Midwest Thoroughbred sends out Follow the Signs for Steve Asmussen.
I haven't been impressed with his return races since his layoff, but if he can somehow clear the lead, I guess he has a chance.
And in from the also eligible list, rider change Ricardo Santana Jr. on Siggy for trainer Roy Lerman.
Interesting horse, disappointing last time out, but his race 2 starts back would make him competitive.
That is your field for the first leg of this late pick 4. Over $300,000 in that pool. You could play along without risking any of your money, though, each and every day on our show. With the Saratoga Showdown online contest, you're competing for real prizes like 50,000 NyraBets points and a 2019 Belmont Stakes ticket package. That's the grand prize. Go to NYRA.com/showdown. Get involved and see your name climb that leaderboard, which we show you at the end of the show each and every day. So wide open race here coming up to start off this late pick 4, and the board has reflected that throughout, Gabby.
I don't think you can have a whole bunch of confidence in any particular runner in this field, but I did have some interest in the number 6 Saratoga Colonel, and because he does look like a horse that just could be improving race from race this year. Now, last time out, actually, Luis Saez was aboard for the first time, and this was a scenario, Greg, where nobody was aggressive, and we all know that Luis Saez is one of the most aggressive riders in this colony. So he took advantage of that fact, and he tried to wire the field in this particular race. I thought he ran a really good race. I don't even know if that's his preferred running style on the lead, but it just showed me that he needed his first race off of the layoff. This was a good effort. I mean, those top 2 finishers were well clear from the rest of the field.
Yeah, 5 clear of the 3rd place finisher today. Maybe the best in the form cycle, 3rd off the bench. So intriguing here, one of many that are at 5-1. Meanwhile, Chad Brown with the 1-horse Take It to Scale turf debut after winning first time out on dirt at Aqueduct.
9-2 on this horse, your lukewarm favorite. And Andy was mentioning, you know, I think a lot of the time the public just kind of defaults to Chad Brown and Javier Castellano, and that's usually the right way to go. I just didn't think that there was an overwhelming amount of turf pedigree on the bottom side for a horse that you're, even though 9-2, potentially going to have to take as a favorite.
Yeah, 9-2 current favorite in this race. That's how deep this race is. Shiraz, I have liked this horse for a long, long time. The 8, I'm not going to say he doesn't have heart, because he does have heart. He fights to the end every time. He just never seems to get past that last horse in the very end. Maybe the equipment change and stretching out could be the difference today.
Well, that's a weird thing. So, yes, he's 1 for 16 on form. He's got 6 seconds, a couple of thirds, too. He doesn't seem to have that will to win and pass the other horses. But the best way to cure a horse that might hang a little bit is to go to the lead. Could that be a tactic? I don't think he's naturally fast enough, though.
Well, see, Andy, I think he does have will, and he does fight, but there's just always someone in the end that winds up getting him.
I think, like me, if I was in a fight, he fights to be second. I just don't think Shiraz is a horse that wants to win. And this is a horse that I've been a fan of. I've bet many times. And at the end of the day, Greg, Paul, anybody can feel free to disagree. He has been in position to win one race after another, and he's failed to get the job done.
I would absolutely agree with that. We've seen it time and time again from that 8-horse right there. We'll see if today is any different with the changes. Let's check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
Yeah, and we're watching Shiraz right there on your screen. I don't like to see that with a horse. Pinning his ears back, doesn't want to move forward towards the gate. We'll see, Greg. I know you're his biggest fan, but I'm certainly not his. As we'll take a look at number 10, pocket player in here, caught up with trainer Tom Bush, and he kind of said the same thing that Andy and I have said, that he definitely needed that last race. He really didn't train him into that one to necessarily win, wanted to give him that, and he also thought that he might appreciate the ground with some give in it, because he is that bigger, stronger type of animal that might be able to handle it just fine, and 2, might get some pace to run into. Now, a horse that got a pretty aggressive warm-up is number 7, Appealing Breeze for Jorge Abreu, first off the claim. This is the horse that I've been reluctant to take a lot of times because he's very nervous. He's very insecure. You watch him and he just looks like a bundle of nerves. But I like what Manny Franco did with him in this warm-up. Gave him a big warm-up, kind of got that nervous energy out of him. And I will say he is looking better, and maybe he's one of those that once they learn to win, they can keep doing it. And then my other long shot in here, or I should say my long shot, is number 5, Phone Funky Monkey. Third off the layoff. He likes it here at Saratoga, where his first 2 career starts came, and he broke his maiden here back in August of last year. And I think he's kind of been a little up against it as far as dynamics are concerned in his 2 races to date in 2018. It was dominated on the front end with Honor Up in Saratoga Colonel last time, and same thing goes with Peculiar Sensation and Siggy, 2 back. So he's been very wide in his efforts too, and I just think if he can get the right kind of setup, he's a horse that's poised 3rd off the bench to get the job done here. Guys?
All right, Maggie, thanks. Yeah, we're waiting for David Donk to kind of break through because he usually gets on a little bit of a roll at Saratoga. He started to get on a roll late in the Belmont meet, so maybe it happens today.
And I've always really liked this horse. I actually liked him in his race off of the layoff, and I actually thought that he was just a little bit flat. But Maggie does make a good point in that those races kind of pretty much held together. So we'll see what he can do, but he was very impressive last year, although he did get a good pace to close into that day.
So Funky Monkey, the 5 at 24-1 on the board. This will be his third off the layoff, but Paul LaDuca, another long shot you've had your eyes on. Horseshoe Appealing Briefs on the board right now at 7-1. This is a tough spot for a horse coming off a maiden claiming victory.
Yeah, it is. But when you look at some of the rest of this field, Andy and I have been talking about, we talk about Shiraz being a little bit of a hanger. This is sort of a light bulb angle. I like a horse that's 0-13. Listen, he beat a awful field last time, but I like that he finally won by open lengths, and maybe it will give him a little bit of confidence. A lot of these other horses don't love to win races either, but I think at 7-1, you're getting the value.
The funny thing about Appealing Briefs, he ran one of the worst races he's run in recent memory to win last time.
Probably right.
But he did have a tough outside post and had to be in the engine, albeit against weaker. To tell you the truth, Greg, I'm afraid to find out the real reason that Paul likes Appealing Briefs.
We'll leave that. We'll leave that between those two downstairs.
Yeah,
they can talk it out during the break. $519,000 in this pick 4 pool and growing. This leg kicks it off right here. Of course, includes our feature race still to come in the 8th in the Shine Again. A very competitive running in that race where there didn't seem to be a standout either. Very good sequence today. But this race, this is why we love Saratoga. Races like this where it is just completely wide open on the board.
Yeah, there is an opportunity to make money, but you have to be right to make that money, and it's not easy in these types of races. You could make a case for several. I mean, at one point when I was originally handicapping this race, I was trying to make a case for the 4 LNZ at 21-1, and then you throw in the horse that's drawing in off the also eligible. So plenty of ways to go. I'll be curious to see how the pace develops in here, and maybe the 12 horse to the outside if he's going to get an aggressive ride today.
Yeah, we'll see. That would certainly be beneficial so this horse does not lose a ton of ground outside. Again, this is on the inner turf course, and outside post positions on this course can really cost you. So we'll see if the 12 can get over and try and save some ground under Irad Ortiz Jr. Start of the late pick 4 here on this Wednesday afternoon on Saratoga Live. Chad Brown's Take It to Scale, the 1 turf debut. Let's send it upstairs to the voice in New York Racing for the call, Larry Colmus.
Last few runners moving into line here as Follow the Sign steps forward to the gate. Here's Saratoga Colonel taking his position in line, followed by Appealing Briefs. And the last one up will be Siggy. Tepid favorite, Take It to Scale at 7-2 from the inside post. And they're all in line, ready for the start. They're off. Saratoga Colonel sent out of there with Follow the Signs on the outside showing speed, and Siggy from that far outside post. LNZ is away running in 4th just in behind them. Then Shiraz, New Jersey John, Carthon to the outside of Appealing Briefs. Take It to Scale saves all the ground into that turn. Then Stormy Justin, Phone Funky Monkey, and last of them all is Pocket Player. Up top, it is Follow the Signs to a 23.9 quarter. The leader by a length over Siggy in 2nd. And then it's Saratoga Colonel in 3rd, sitting just 2.5 lengths behind the pace-setting pair. LNZ next, 4th on the outside. Shiraz follows in 5th. New Jersey John next. Carthon 3 deep up the backstretch. Appealing Briefs between those two. Take It to Scale. Racing 8 lengths from the front now. And then Pocket Player, who moves through an opening on the inside of Stormy Justin and Phone Funky Monkey. 48.59. The half for Follow the Signs. Siggy continues to press as the field races for the far turn. And it's Saratoga Colonel on the inside of LNZ, who's 4th, moving around that turn. Splitting horses, Appealing Briefs begins to move up a bit. Shiraz is there. New Jersey John on the inside. Carthon comes wide. Take It to Scale still 6 lengths behind. And then Phone Funky Monkey, and they're into the stretch. Follow the Signs off the turn in front. Saratoga Colonel is 2 lengths behind. New Jersey John threading his way through. LNZ is down on the inside. Phone Funky Monkey coming through an opening at the rail. And Appealing Briefs down the center. It is Follow the Signs and New Jersey John. These two Follow the Signs, trying to take them all the way. New Jersey John's not going to get him. Follow the Signs holds on from New Jersey John. Appealing Briefs was 3rd, Shiraz 4th in 137.2.
Follow the signs. Irad Ortiz Jr. did get to the front from that outside post and led every step of the way.
Yeah, this was a great ride by Irad Ortiz to kind of clear from that outermost or outside post position. He was really helped with the scratch of the 3 crossways, who figured to be part of the pace today. But a good aggressive ride, guys, and going wire to wire.
Yeah, I mean, you have to secure the lead, and you have to go as quickly as you have to get the lead. And once you get the lead, you're able to slow it down a little bit, and that was the case with Follow the Signs. It was simply the best horse in the race, Paul.
It was an old school ride. You hit the nail right on the head. He was able to go 23 and change. You went fast early, but you were able to back down those last other 2 quarters a little bit shade under 25, Andy, and it left him with enough in the tank at the end.
So he broke a little flat-footed there, but quickly rebounded, gathered himself, and Irad Ortiz got him to the front. And he kept on going. 12-2, 7-8. New Jersey John at 24-1. Offering some value underneath there in the exacta, but Follow the Signs picks up just the 2nd win of his career, son of Colonel John.
And just what about the meet that Steve Asmussen is having? Last year, I know we were all talking that Gun Runner was one of his few winners of the meet last year, and this year he cannot do anything wrong.
He is winning with anything and everything, having an outstanding meet. And he gets another winner here. Follow the Signs, 9-2 to start off this late pick 4 sequence. 12-2, 7-8 finish. And of course, Irad Ortiz Jr., we always expect him to be up there as one of the top riders at the meet. But yeah, we went into this meet thinking, okay, Chad Brown, Todd Pletcher, and even Todd Pletcher really conceded. He felt, you know, Chad Brown just has such a lethal arsenal of horses and so much depth that he's going to be on top, and right now he is. But Steve Asmussen doing phenomenal early on.
Yeah, and even the Jockey colony with Irad Ortiz and Jose Ortiz, we've seen other riders be very successful this meet, like Saez and even Ricardo Santana.
Let's go downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale.
And pleased to be joined by the man of the meet right now, Steve Asmussen here with Follow the Signs. Talk about clearing from the 12 or 11 post, Steve.
Right. Irad knows the horse well. He put in a very gritty effort down on the inside. The post may have actually helped him. He seemed a lot more relaxed today down the backside, was able to get a breather, kick clear into the stretch, and came home nicely.
Steve, were you expecting to have a meet like this?
We felt great about the 2-year-olds coming in. You know, we've been, you know, extremely blessed and fortunate to have some wonderful horses, and they're doing right at the, obviously at the right time.
And Midnight Bistu, are we going to see her in the Alabama?
I would expect to. I mean, she just came out of the race tremendously. We spoke with Jeff Bloom as well as the other owners on her and stuff like that, and we'll let her tell us, and all indications are yes.
All right, we are seeing an inquiry here on the board. We'll find out more about that, but
take it
best of luck. Exactly. Congratulations, Al.
Okay, thank you.
Guys?
Well, inquiry posted, and it's something in the stretch that took place. We don't yet know what that is. We're going to take a look here in a moment, try and decipher what exactly happened and if it at all involves your winner.
Yeah, well, Irad Ortiz looks a little perplexed, too, as he's looking at the inside.
It may just have been as well. There was a piece of railing that did come down in the stretch, and maybe I don't know if that's what they're looking at, but if it's actually something with some of the horses. But let's take a look here.
Looking at the stretch run here, and it looks like, oh, wow. My goodness. Yes, the inside rail, the pole just completely fell. It looked like someone was holding it down on the inside.
So that may be the issue here for the stewards.
That's unusual.
I have not seen that before, no. And I'm trying to look here at this group as a whole. Wow, that is very dangerous. But great job to get that out of there in time before it could have caused any issues in the race.
Wonder what the rider was thinking when he saw that pole in front of him.
Yeah, would not want to be on board a horse going as fast as they're going, charging down the stretch and being on the inside here with that railing coming down. But again, terrific job by whoever that was to get that out of there as quickly as possible.
And it didn't look like anybody stopped riding, or as we can actually taking a look here.
And some of the jockeys taking a look at what happened as well on the monitors. There's Steve Asmussen, terrific meet going on. We all wondered for the longest time, was the power in those long locks of his? No, he can win without the hair as well.
The answer is no. Short hair, long hair, anything. And okay, so they did drop the inquiry. Just waiting right now for it to become official, but obviously, and there we go. It's official, 12-2-7-8.
In the books, Follow the Signs with the win, wins at 9-2. Steve Asmussen's having a terrific meet. Bill Mott is having a terrific meet. He had a couple of wins again on his birthday, as he seems to win each and every year. But those are two of the names that maybe we didn't expect coming in that were going to be near the top, but they are.
And Steve has been winning with his turf horses, his dirt horses. He alluded to some of those pretty talented 2-year-olds. He's winning with horses from Churchill and Belmont. So he's really just firing on all cylinders.
All right, so this pick 4 underway with a 9-2 shot. And again, that's just terrific riding. Sometimes you get scared away. You go, oh, this outside post on the inner turf, it's disadvantageous. But Steve actually felt it might have helped this horse, and a great job by Irad Ortiz Jr. to be aggressive, use that outside post to jet to the front and get the lead.
You have to have a plan with a post position like that. And fortunately, the horse had enough natural speed to put himself in that position too.
Price is in, $11.60 with Follow the Signs. Wins for Midwest Thoroughbreds. Another winner for Steve Asmussen and Irad Ortiz Jr. aboard for the winning ride. 2 wins now from 10 career starts. New Jersey John runs a big one here at second, $19 to place, and Appealing Briefs runs third. Let's look at the Naira Bets late pick 5 follow along. Just over $100,000 in that pool, and a couple of $11 horses to start things off. And I don't believe went off the favorite. No.
No,
so no favorites yet.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the Naira Bets late pick 5 from Monday. Paid $5,569. Let's take a look at the comparison of the pick 4 and the pick 5. $838 for the pick 4. Pick 5, $5,569. Trying to think back what that opening leg of the sequence was.
I cannot remember, but that is, we say this time and time again, but it is the truth. Tremendous value you get with that late pick, the Naira Bets late pick 5.
It is a must play, and the only way to play it, again, if you reside outside the state of New York, is getting signed up, started with Naira Bets. All right, our feature race coming up. It is the Shine Again, the 6th running of this race. Fillies and mares forward up, going 7 furlongs. Come Dancing was brilliant off the layoff, ran just 7 days ago for Carlos Martin.
Coming back off of short rest, but she is a filly who has had a lot of gaps in her form, so Carlos Martin thinks, well, she's doing well, why not continue to run her?
It's the Travers Canoe in the colors of Gary and Mary West. Of course, the Travers coming up on August the 25th. Time for What's Trending. And PDJF, we present you our Saratoga Jockey Karaoke contestants. It was a lot of fun. It was Monday night. It's for a great cause to support the Permanently Disabled Jockeys Fund. Laurent Giroux was your defending champion. Appropriately, he sang "We Are the Champions."
It was great.
Just like Freddie Mercury.
Exactly like Freddie Mercury.
But congratulations to the winners, by the way. Doug O'Neill, by the way, everyone loves Lava Man, one of the greatest claimers in the history of this sport. He underwent colic surgery to correct a large colon displacement. Stood beautifully and is back in his stall. That's good news. To begin the recovery process, we want to thank the veterinarians and staff for their quick assessment and treatment. Thanks for all the good wishes. Lava Man, of course, a 2015 Hall of Fame inductee, claimed for $50,000. He went on to win 7 Grade 1s and earned more money than any other claimer in history.
And he has managed to have a very good career after that at 17 years old. Happy to hear that he's doing well.
And look at this tremendous photography and this amazing job by the outrider here. This is a photo from Skip Dickstein. Outrider Ivan San Juan grabs a loose horse on the main track during morning workouts after the exercise rider was unseated, and that horse is actually Papa Tom. That's a horse that our own Maggie Wolfendale has been aboard at Belmont before in the past.
When you get a good pony, there is nothing that is better than that, and he is just doing his job fantastically well, as to is the outrider Ivan San Juan. Cool shot.
And we're going to reveal, I didn't say the winners of Jockey Karaoke for a reason. We're going to have more on Jockey Karaoke, reveal who that was coming up in just a little bit. Still ahead, we will preview the 91st running of one of the most prestigious races in the country in the handicap division, the Whitney, this weekend.
Switches back to the outside. Exaggerator down to the 16th pole, but Exaggerator has turned the tables. He has won the Preakness. He has won the
let's do this. We've got 8 horses in the box for the 91st running of the $1.2 million Whitney. Outstanding field, and here we go.
That was track announcer Larry Colmus on the mic at the draw Tuesday night at Sperry's in downtown Saratoga Springs with a draw for the Whitney coming up this weekend, and Diversify, a late entrant into the race. We talked about it at the top of the show, doing so good. Rick Violet says, why not? I got to run him.
And coming off of a superb effort in the Suburban last out. So yes, the horse is doing well. So why not take a shot in the Whitney?
Well, he was sensational in the Suburban. He would win this race by 6.5 lengths, 159-4. And Rick Violet said, I think this performance was the best of his career.
And when he is able to be on the lead and just really elongate his stride, it's crazy to see the confidence that this horse gets when he's in that position. So, you know, he could find himself in a similar position in the Whitney.
Irad Ortiz Jr., he said, my plan was to break and go, and when I got to the quarter pole, he just gave me another gear, and he zipped away from that group. That was impressive. Off that, he is now the 7-5 morning line favorite. 2 New York breds, the top 2 choices in Saturday's 91st running of the Whitney. Paul LaDuca, he played Maggie Wolfendale at the draw on Tuesday night, and he caught up with Rick Violet.
He's doing fabulous. That's why we're in. You know, I originally didn't plan on running because I thought that we ran so fast and so hard in the Suburban that 4 weeks might be a little quick. But he's done terrifically. He breezed like a freak on Sunday and came out of it well. So sometimes you're just supposed to run your horses when they're doing good. We can, you know, we'll be very aggressive, but we can also stalk. So if they want to launch and do some silly things in front of us, we'll be glad to let them clear the way for us.
We know you've been a part of a staple in New York racing for so long. I mean, does it also help for you that Diversify loves the track?
Oh, no question about it. You know, he loves Belmont and he loves Saratoga equally well. You know, he ripped around there 1/2 and kept going and won by like 11 last year. So he's a pretty nice horse. He doesn't need to take his racetrack with him. And, you know, we'll lay the gauntlet down on Saturday.
It's going to be fun to see him back in action, winning at 1.25 miles, of course, in that Grade 2 Suburban. And if he can get to the front, I don't see him coming back.
When he is good, he is so good. He's so brilliant. So, and he tells you that in the morning, too, as Rick Violet alluded to. So we'll see. But it's going to be an exciting rendition of the Whitney.
And he was brilliant here last summer at Saratoga as well. And the Evan Shipman won by 11+ lengths every step of the way in that race. As we get a look at Walker Hancock, president of Claiborne Farm. 4th generation to run his family's farm, took over in just his 20s. Incredible. Taking over for his father, Seth, and doing a tremendous job continuing that amazing tradition of Claiborne Farm. So we talked about Diversify. He is a New York bred. There is another New York bred and a very interesting story that has made the Whitney very, very interesting this weekend. Mind Your Biscuits, the sprinter, stretching out this weekend in the Whitney, and this was a look at him in the Met Mile.
And he was very good in the Met Mile. I mean, this is a horse who shows up literally everywhere, whether it is on a Breeders' Cup type of stage, whether it's in Maidan, in the Dubai Golden Shaheen, or even in the Met Mile. This was a tremendous race. Considering B Jersey, the winner, did go wire to wire, the biggest test for him is going to be the 9 furlongs and whether or not he can get that distance.
Can he handle it? We are going to find out. Paul LaDuca had a chance to catch up with Chad Summers as well.
Post won like 9 times. He got post 14 in Dubai. They said you can't win from post 14. So with him, post won't matter. I'm not even going to say what post I want because whatever post I don't want is where I end up. So I don't want to be in post 4. That's definitely where I don't want to be.
Number 4, Mind Your Biscuits.
We know he's a world-class sprinter. We know that. We know he has a ton of want, which is unbelievable. He's probably outrun his pedigree, sort of like you and I. But what's gotten him to this point?
I think really last year watching Gunrunner in Dubai. And watching him train, we kind of thought Biscuits was very similar build to him and kind of similar running style possibly when you go a little bit further. And watching what Gunrunner was able to do the rest of the year after he came back from Dubai, this was something that kind of popped up in the back of my mind. The time's right now, and you look at the field and getting 7 pounds, we're ready.
Well, good luck on Whitney Day, and I never thought you and I would be standing on the red carpet together.
We try. Hopefully next year we go to the Academy Awards.
If that happens, whew, that'd be monumental.
They look good on the red carpet together. And how about Chad Summers trying to will getting post 4 by saying he didn't want it, and it worked out for him?
That's pretty incredible.
Finally gets a post position he wants.
Wow. And it definitely matters. Does that ever happen? Jeez.
Incredible. Well, Paul, Andy, you guys were both at the draw. Andy, a great job hosting again, as you've done over the past few years. But these two New York breds making this rendition very interesting coming up this weekend.
Did I do a bad job 3 years ago, Greg? I'm a little hurt right now. He's trying to compliment me. I'm not worried about what I did 3 years ago. The problem with Mind Your Biscuits is not just the distance that Gabby alluded to, it's the 2 turns. He's never tried to go 2 turns effectively. And I think for a horse like him, he's a wonderful horse. And I think Chad Summers doing the right thing running in this race. It's the right time to take a chance with him. And it's the right field to take a chance. But for him to attack a horse like Diversify and put him away and hold off some others, I think it's going to be a Herculean task. He's a wonderful horse. I think it's going to be very tough for him to win this race.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think it's going to be really tough. After we did all the interviews, Chad Summers and Rick were joking around, and Chad's like, I'm coming out of sprints. I'm going to be 5 lengths in front of you. It's just not going to happen. Diversify's natural speed is going to make Mind Your Biscuits going to have to at least stay intact, and then that's going to basically dull out his late run. Diversified, to me, the faster he goes, Andy, the better he is. So to me, if I think he opens up 6, 7 lengths, he might take the heart out of the field.
I agree. He's an old-fashioned horse that they're going fast with early and telling everybody else, you've got to run fast to keep up with us. And the idea that Rick says if the Gallimore wants to go and sit second, to me, that is absolute nonsense. Yes. I believe they are going with Diversify. They have used his speed as a weapon successfully, and they have to continue to do that, especially in a race as big as the Whitney.
91st edition of the Whitney coming up on Saturday. Right now, though, we have the Shine Again ahead. And there is Your Love, daughter of Flatter. Our feature coming up next on Saratoga Live.
Mastery retired undefeated, winning his 4 starts by a combined 20 lengths. A 6-figure September sale purchase, he won impressively in his 2-year-old debut at Santa Anita. From there, he captured the Grade 3 Bob Hope Stakes and completed his juvenile campaign with a dominant performance in the Grade 1 Los Alamitos Futurity. At 3, the top-rated son of Candy Ride sizzled in the San Felipe, running a 105 buyer and winning by open lengths. Mastery, new for 2018 at Claiborne Farm.
They're on. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Back on Saratoga Live, presented by Claiborne Farm. Beautiful Saratoga spring, so much to see, so much history. That man right there, an important part of this game. Wayne Lucas, the coach. We'll send out long shot the 3 impasse in our feature coming up, the Shine Again. We're going to send it downstairs to Maggie Wolfendale. This paddock report brought to you by Hillendale Farm, now standing Byron for $15,000.
And as we have jogs up here in the paddock for today's Shine Again, we'll start with the horse who's coming off short rest, and that is number 4, Come Dancing, who ran just a week ago, emerging off of a 7-month layoff. And, you know, the things you look for with horses coming back off these short layoffs, is their energy level good? Is their weight good? And I'm a little bit underwhelmed by what I see from Come Dancing. I like her, and I think she's very talented. I understand Connection's trying to get her some black type here and striking while the iron's hot, and she's training well. But she's just not necessarily what I want to see with the horse coming back off a short rest. Number 5 is Karen for trainer Graham Motion. And going back to the last time I had seen her, which was in June, she is a big, strong, good-looking filly. But the difference is she's a bit more sharp. She's a bit more keen than what I've seen from her in the past. And I like her. I think she does make some sense here in the context of this field. And then your favorite on the outside is number 8. That is Your Love. I swear every time I see her, she seems to get bigger and stronger. And, you know, her last effort off of a layoff, it was in the mud. And I'm willing to forgive her for that because she is that heavier type where maybe the mud isn't ultimately her preferred surface. She can handle it, but getting back to a track that's a little more dry, I think should help her chances here. And obviously, she's very strong as she sits at 2-1 on the board, Greg.
Maggie, thanks. Yeah, the favorite right now. So the Chad Brown filly, daughter of Flatter, the one to beat with Javier Castellano. What'd you think of her performance last start?
I thought it was good, and I didn't think that she had a very fluid trip for sure. She was kind of locked in behind horses momentarily. It also looked like she could have used it because they were all laboring home. 7/8 looks like it could be a perfect distance for her, and she's getting a class relief from those previous distances.
That was her 4-year-old debut, her first start since November. So we'll see if she benefits off that here in her second start off the bench. As we bring you our post parade here for our feature, the Shine Again. Of course, Shine Again, 2-time ballerina winner here at Saratoga back in her day. Here's Aura Rose for Lacey Gaudet. John Velasquez aboard.
She is badly overmatched against this group.
Wonderment is the 2014 Fasig-Tipton August sale graduate with Dylan Davis.
Yeah, 2 for 8 in the last 2 years. It does have a race here at Saratoga that was not awful. For 29-1, not the worst 29-1 shot.
Impasse. We saw the coach. This one trained by Wayne Lucas here. Manny Franco rides.
Wayne Lucas always ready to take a shot. She's a cut below these, but not impossible to get a small piece at a price.
Come Dancing won here at Saratoga just 7 days ago for trainer Carlos Martin.
And she did it in the right way. She's 3 for 4 a lifetime. She's had her issues. The worry is the turnaround, like you say.
K. Wren, trained by Graham Motion, Jose Ortiz aboard.
K-Rain, to me, is the horse to beat in a lot of ways. Was caught on a dead rail deep inside at Delaware last time out.
Yorkie Poo Princess was right behind Your Love last start. And that was her 4-year-old debut as well for Ed Barker.
Yeah, after just getting beat at 75-1 in the Charlestown Oaks, Wolfie, she ran a good third last time out.
Heavenly Score, the 7 for John Terranova, Curra Stables with Luis Saez.
She can run well on any surface, turf and dirt. Her speed is one of her biggest weapons.
Sing it for me, Paula Duca. Your Love, trained by Chad Brown.
I just need to know which one you want. Do you want the one from the outfield? This is the filly by Flatter out of the Quiet American mare that's got a lot of talent.
Of course, the outfield version, please. So that is your 2-1 favorite. Your Love. Andy talked about K. Wren, the 5, being, in many ways, the horse to beat in this field. Andy, what'd you like?
I'm a big fan of hers. I think she met a field that was at least comparable to this one the last time she ran down at Delaware Park. And the rider moved up on the rail, which was not the place to be at Delaware that day. It's clear that horse on outside paths did much, much better. And I think that muted her rally. And I believe she ran very, very well, all things considered. A clean trip. There should be pace in this race. I think she's an improving horse for Graham Motion, and she can run him down the stretch.
Well, the key is, too, Andy, is that I think 7 furlongs fits her better than a lot of the other fillies in here, and I think that could be the key at the end of this race.
I could not agree more, Paul.
7 minutes to post in our feature race, the Shine Again. And right now, Chad Brown with Your Love, the favorite. We'll have it for you when we come back right after this. Stay with us.
Kentucky Derby winner Orb was the leading freshman sales sire of weanlings, yearlings, and 2-year-olds. On the track, his runners have scored on both dirt and turf, including stakes winners Autumn Warrior and Orvolution, stakes performer Scrapper, and TDN rising star Explorer. In the sales ring, his progeny continue to sell well beyond his stud fee, including the $1 million co-sale topper at Saratoga. Classic winner, classic pedigree, Orb, standing at Claiborne Farm.
How do New York breds perform? They win in world-class company. From Grade 1 races in Dubai, where New York-sired, New York bred Mind Your Biscuits won the Golden Shaheen for a second time, to Belmont adding to his status as the richest New York bred with a close second in the Met Mile. The Belmont Festival saw 2 more New York breds become millionaires, 4-star Crook in the New York Stakes, and world record setter Disco Partner with a repeat victory in the Jaipur. New York breds, get with the program.
Welcome to Saratoga Live. You've joined us just in time for our feature race. Coming up, it is presented by Claiborne Farm. 100 years of doing the usual, unusually well. We put Andy Serling in a time machine. There he is. Just kidding. Greg Wolf, Gabby Gaudette, Andy Serling, he's with us live. He didn't go to a time machine. Paula Duca, Maggie Wolfendale as well. Shine Again, 2-time Grade 1 winner of the Ballerina. Here back in the day for the Chief, Alan Jerkins. Race named in her honor is coming up. Let's check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
And joined by trainer Kenny McPeak here as he will send out Wonderment. And Kenny, she is a New York bred, but what else is unique about her? She's actually running in foal. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, we've done that in the past. You know, today she doesn't run on any Lasix. You know, she's been a really good, solid mare for us, and we felt like this spring would be a good time to get her in foal. And whether we keep her for the long run or the short run is to be decided. Scott Leeds, the lead owner of Walking L and Best Miles, those guys are heavily involved in, you know, decisions, so we'll see. But we want to use this as a prep for the Union Avenue, and we wanted to get a little race in her. She's won a Grade 3 as an open 3-year-old, so we'll see.
Also bred her to a pretty nice stallion as well.
Yes, Bitestown, absolutely. We'd be real excited about that foal. You know, he obviously a great stallion, sired Golden Ticket, who we won the Travers here with. But, yeah, that'll be interesting. If we keep her, we're looking forward to seeing that foal.
So would I. Well, best of luck here. Obviously, end goal in the Union Avenue, Kenny.
Yeah, thanks. Maggie's not this tall. We actually gave her an extra step to stand on.
With Eric Cancel, I made him stand on the step. So we love the staging here on the show, Kenny. Greg, I guess you would be on the same level as Kenny, though.
I might need an extra stare, actually. Be up there just as well. Giving away all our broadcasting secrets. He brought up Golden Ticket, by the way. That was the dead heat, I think, with Alpha in the Travers.
It was David Cohen and Ramon Dominguez. I remember that.
Absolutely. Again, the Travers coming up on August the 25th. Right now, though, it's about 4-year-old fillies and mares coming up in the Shine Again. Let's go downstairs to Andy Serling and Paula Duca.
Interesting horses in this race coming out of the same race are obviously Your Love as well as Yorkie Poo Princess. And Your Love's getting all the love, Paul, and Yorkie Poo Princess is getting none of it. Now, I will agree that Your Love could have won that race.
Yeah.
It was funny. The winner, who's a speed horse, Jose Ortiz sort of rode her to keep Javier Castellano in check, and it worked out for him. But I also think that Yorkie Poo Princess off the layoff ran very well in there. And do you really think Yorkie Poo Princess, the 6, should be 6 times the price of Your Love?
No, I don't think so at all. And I think that the public's looking just off the last race thinking, okay, Yorkie Poo Princess just inherited the lead. She can come from off the pace. I don't think she needs the lead to win the race.
And she also, if she's a speed, she could be outside of other speeds in a stalking position. And not knocking Your Love, but I'm not certain that Your Love's a horse that's going to be better with 7 furlongs than 6 and 6.5. And not that she can't win, but I think both of these horses are contenders here, and they're looking at the two of them like Your Love can win and Yorkie Poo Princess has no chance, and we disagree with that.
Yeah, it's true. You're probably right. But you see Yorkie Poo Princess, and you look, and you're getting 12 to 1. You see Your Love, you're getting 2 to 1. Is it Chad Brown because it's Eddie Barker? Is that the reasoning?
Oh, it's a lot of it, and it's horses, and they're obviously Chad Brown's a great trainer, but it's horses, and Eddie Barker does a good job. Now, Heavenly Score, a horse I know Gabby likes, and I like as well. I wonder, though, when you look at her 2 wins in the dirt, both came wire to wire, and I don't think she can clear this field.
Really? Who
Well,
do you think can beat her to the front end?
I'm not going to be surprised to see Wonderman go. I'm not going to be surprised to see Come Dancing go. And I'm not going to be surprised to see Yorkie Poo Princess go.
Yeah,
now,
true.
she benefits being outside of them, but maybe she's best clear in the lead. Not that she can't win.
Yeah, the one thing she has in her corner, though, she has that win at 7 furlongs. Yeah, you make a good point, and Gabby makes a good point, too. If she can get to the front end and clear, she's going to be a bear. But if she doesn't, she's going to be in trouble.
We'll see how it works out. At least she's outside of them, Gabby.
Yeah, no, that's very, very true. I think that the pace scenario is very puzzling. And if you are just looking at riders in isolation, you'd have to imagine that Luis Saez is going to get aggressive with Heavenly Score. And she is to the outside of all the other potential speed types. So I think that does give her an advantage. Saw her on the track. She's really on her toes, Greg. She's coming into this race with bullet workouts. So you'd imagine that she's going to be pretty sharp today.
Yeah, you see that bullet drill July 25th here at Saratoga. Quickest of 81 that morning. She's shown a lot of speed on her resume, I should say. It's just going to be, this could be a rider's race. Who is aggressive enough to say, let's go for it, let's get to the front? And a lot of that may just be dictated out of the gate.
That man right there. He is one of the most aggressive riders in our jockey colony. So I can't imagine Luis trying
on the
to
7.
try to take him back. But the 8 Your Love, you look at her form. It's her second start off of the layoff. She's stretching out to 7 furlongs. You look at the only other 2 times that she raced at 7 furlongs, and it was against Quality Stakes Company, one of them being in the Grade 1 test against American Gal here last year. So to say that she's getting a bit of her class relief at the 7/8, I think you could definitely have confidence in saying that.
Meanwhile, look again to Kay Wren for trainer Graham Motion. Comes in from Delaware. She'd been in New York at the Bed of Roses at Belmont 2 starts back. This will be her 3rd try here at 7 furlongs, still looking for that first win.
The way she ran last time out, she was down on the rail and she was closing from off of the pace. It made you think that she is capable going 7 furlongs. We'll see if she is. I mean, they've spent a long time keeping her at 3/4.
And meanwhile, for Come Dance, I mean, she ran a huge performance off the bench last start. Again, it was just 7 days ago. We mentioned that here. It was at Saratoga, July 25th. How much is that asking of this filly to come back, and she's just run the best career effort of her life, to come back and do it again, or one of them?
One of them. Her best career was actually off of an even longer layoff last December.
And then what happened?
And then she totally, well, that was against Divine Miss Gray.
No
I
doubt.
mean, it was quality, graded stakes type of fillies and mares. Yeah, she's getting a little bit hot on the track here today, and you can't blame Carlos Martin for taking this shot. She's doing well. She's a horse who is very lightly raced for a 4-year-old filly, so why not try? I don't particularly like her, and I did think that she faced a very inferior field last time out.
And we were just talking about that up here, that it is a little sticky this afternoon, so maybe not that big of a deal to see a few of these horses getting a little lathered up as we check in again with Andy Serling.
I think her connections really want to try to strike while the iron is hot to get some black type into this filly. And obviously she's one to keep, and I'm talking about the 4 Come Dancing, tough to keep on the racetrack. And you get a race like this coming up and they figure she's in form. She's obviously had more layoffs than races. Let's take a shot. We'll see if it works out.
Who will be the aggressor and get to the front? Will be Luis Saez on the 7, Heavenly Score. It is the Shine Again, our feature race coming up. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York Racing for the call, Larry Colmus.
Your Love goes in. They're all in line. They're off in the Shine Again. Come Dancing comes out running with Your Love on the outside. These two are the most early speed. Heavenly Score and K-Ren are right behind as they head up the backstretch. And then it's Wonderment down on the inside. A length farther back to Yorkie Poo Princess. Impasse is next, and Aura Rose is last early on. It is Come Dancing and Arad Ortiz in front, a half length on Heavenly Score, second up the backstretch. Your Love is third, Wonderment fourth on the inside. K-Ren moving between horses after a 22.51 quarter. Yorkie Poo Princess is 4.5 lengths off the lead, and then it's back to Impasse. Aura Rose trails the field. Racing for the far turn, Come Dancing up top. The lead is 3/4 of a length. Heavenly Score is second. Your Love is third to the outside as they round the far turn. Then K-Ren. A 3-wide trip for Yorkie Poo Princess. Wonderment on the inside. Impasse and Aura Rose. 45.69 the half. Come Dancing. Turning for home in front. On the outside, Heavenly Score tries to come and get her. Your Love is there in contention on the outside. And these three arrive at the 8th pole. K-Ren is fourth, trying to keep up with them. Your Love strikes the front. It's now Your Love. Heavenly Score. K-Ren continues to close on the outside. And Come Dancing. Your Love's got it close to home. K-Ren and Heavenly Score. Your Love wins the Shine Again. K-Ren was second. Heavenly Score third. Come Dancing fourth in 1:23.7.
Your Love for trainer Chad Brown, Paul Pompa Jr., and Javier Castellano take the Shine Again.
Took advantage of that post position. Javier kept her in the stalking position. It was a fair pace in here. And you know what? At the end of the day, the best horse won.
Yeah, you're right. You know, Karen had every chance to go by. The 8 was 3 wide most of the way. Your Love. It did a lot of the dirty work, and I thought the 5 had a really good trip. No excuse for the 4, Come Dancing. I thought got to the lead, and maybe just coming back around too quick took its toll on her.
Yeah, Come Dancing setting the pace there, and Heavenly Score just kind of sitting right off of her flank. It looked like Luis Saez was really under strong urging just before the quarter pole, but hats off ride by Javier Castellano on Your Love and putting her in that prime position just to the outside of the 2 speeds.
Good late run as well from the 5K run there to get second, but there's Chad Brown, and a familiar territory for him, heading back to the winner's circle. Picking up another victory that he meets leading trainer, collects another one here in Stakes Company.
Yeah, and last time out, Javier Castellano was, you know, saying that he was regretful in that he kept her kind of behind horses for a little bit too long, but today made sure that she was out in the clear so that she could just stretch her legs and pick up the pieces late. But she is, I would say, the most talented horse in this field, so I think a very formful running of this year's Shine Again.
4th win of Your Love's career. Paul Pompa Jr., winning owner of Your Love, has a nice one here, a daughter of Flatter. And Chad Brown talking potentially maybe where we're going to go next. So Your Love impressive here in the Shine Again with the victory. And another daughter of Flatter, Claiborne Sire, getting the victory here. There's a look at Flatter on the farm. Part of that outstanding stallion roster in Paris, Kentucky. And Claiborne, as Your Love gets the victory here in the silks of Paul Pompa Jr. and goes off at 2-1. Did not go off favorite, however. Slight second choice here in the race. We'll see how that plays in the NYRA Bets late pick 5 when we come back. We'll have the results set up the 9th when we return.
They're off. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with NyraBets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or NyraBets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NyraBets.com.
An undefeated graded stakes winner on the track, Algorithms was the nation's #1 sire of 2-year-olds in 2017 by percentage of winners. His top runners include multiple graded stakes performer Rich Mommy, winner of the Grade 3 Sugar Swirl, multiple stakes winner and graded stakes performer Recruiting Ready, and stakes winners Taylor Spirit, He Hate Me, and Sunset Ridge. In the ring, his yearlings have brought prices up to $220,000. Algorithms, standing at Clayton Farm.
Success starts at Saratoga. The Saratoga Selected Yearling Sale has established a reputation for high quality and high performance. Recent graduates include Grade 1 winners Avenge, Bolt d'Oro, and Moonshine Memories, and 2017 Breeders' Cup champions Battle of Midway, Stormy Liberal, and Rushing Full. The nation's #1 sale by percentage of Grade 1 winners, the Fasig-Tipton Saratoga Sale, August 6th and 7th.
We found Breeders' Cup champion Rushing Fall at Saratoga. Where will you be?
You're watching Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 2 and other regional networks across the country. Our feature race, the Shine Again. It goes to the filly Your Love, wins in her second start back of her 2018 campaign. Javier Castellano aboard for the win, owned by Paul Pompa Jr. and trained by Chad Brown, who's with Maggie Wolfendale.
Yes, pleased to be joined by Chad here in the winner's circle with Your Love. Chad, a filly, kind of had a rough go last time coming back off the bench, and today she was all professional, all business.
Yeah, she got a much better trip today. Last time she was in some trouble, but she got the race she needed off a layoff. Thought Javier used good judgment today. She had a terrific post to work with, but you know, just to lay off the pace, and she had enough to hold off that nice filly run second.
And she seems like a filly that keeps getting physically bigger and better with each race.
She is. You know, I heard you comment in the paddock. You're spot on. This filly's really grown a lot, and it seems like every time we do run her, she gets a little bigger, this horse. So hopefully she stops growing at this point. She's big enough, and she's fast enough to be a good horse. So on to bigger, better things.
Right. So the ballerina?
Probably, yeah. We're here. You know, she seems to like the surface here. The water will get a lot deeper. But, you know, she's a stake winner now. It's probably time to take a shot in a big one.
All right, well, best of luck with her in a month, and congrats here.
Thanks a lot.
All right, Greg, Your Love. We'll see her on August 25th.
Well, we mentioned Shine Again won the Ballerina twice here at Saratoga. Now Your Love, who just won the Shine Again, headed to that same race.
Yeah, I'll be really excited to see her back in there. I mean, they thought highly enough to run her against Grade 1 company last year, so it makes sense off of this impressive victory.
$6.90 for the win for Your Love. Again, goes off as a slight second choice here in this race, trained by Chad Brown. Again, Paul Pompa Jr. owns this 4-year-old filly by Flatter, and Javier Castellano had a sensational first few days of the meet, picks up another winner here. No favorites yet to win in this Naira Bets late pick 5 sequence. Pool has over $100,000 in it.
I love it. And things aren't going to get any easier in the last 2 races, especially the last.
No, they're not. The last is almost impossible. But that's what makes it great, and a great day to play the Naira Bets late pick 5. There's Javier Castellano. Had a streak of 4 straight years that he won outstanding Jockey Eclipse Awards. That came to an end, of course, last year, but he is one of the best in the business. We just saw him win the feature. Here's another edition of Run Happy Jock Talk with Javier.
I could be Go Sape 2004 Breeders' Cup Classic. It was my first Breeders' Cup and my first Breeders' Cup Classic too also. And that time I started stop the lotto, and I think that's a kind of horse that put me in the map. My favorite part be jockey is the routine. I love the sport, I love the horses, I love the fan, I love the daily races. If you're born to be jockey, I love the sport. I like to ride it. I like to races. I hope I can do it forever. The little time I have, I try to spend the time with my family. I try to play with the kids. My 2 girls, they play tennis. I try to go watch tennis. And my little boy, he like to play baseball. I try to play baseball with him. And try to take it to school and pick it up and do activities. And those are little time I try to enjoy with the family. I like to eat healthy, and I like to have a good dinner, and I like to have a good breakfast, I like to have a good lunch, and it's something like vacation with the family, pool, beach, and good dinners.
Javier Castellano. We're going to see him this weekend in the Whitney. He'll be on board Backyard Heaven, who we're going to talk about in a moment. Of course, Run Happy brings us our show in part each and every day. There he is in the legendary Stall 1 on the farm in Claiborne in Paris, Kentucky. We're going to see his progeny on the racetrack spring, summer of 2020. And he was something special, one of the great sprinters we have ever seen. He never lost when sprinting over the course of his career.
He was incredible, and I can't wait to see his babies. I hope they're as fast as he was.
We all do. That's going to be a lot of fun to watch. And we appreciate Run Happy's support in bringing you Saratoga Live each and every day. Whitney coming up this weekend. One of the most prestigious races in the entire country, certainly for that handicap division. And for Backyard Heaven, for trainer Chad Brown and the Ramseys, important race, Andy Serling, for this horse to see if he can bounce back as we take a look at the field here. He went into the Stephen Foster as the odds-on favorite. He did not show up that day. Does he bounce back on Saturday?
That's the million-dollar question. If he bounces back and can run back to his race 2 back in the Ali Sheba, he's going to be very tough. He was stalking. He was using his speed more than he wanted to stay with Always Dreaming, because at that point, there was belief that Always Dreaming could actually still run. And he just put him away, and it was an absolutely dominating performance the day before the Kentucky Derby. Then he runs at night. The race goes off about 10 o'clock at night. It's 95 degrees out at Churchill Downs, and he doesn't run a step. Obviously, his trainer, Chad Brown, is banking on the fact that things just went awry in the weather. And, Paul, I just believe if he can get back to this Ali Sheba, he has the best chance to beat Diversified.
Listen, he gets back to the Ali Sheba, he does. And he almost ran so bad last time, it's almost like, what did happen? Do we just draw a line through it? Because it's not the same horse. Sometimes you'll look at a horse that would maybe loom up and then back up. He just didn't run a step at all. So to me, I think you just put a line through that effort. and hopefully he bounces back here at his home racetrack.
And, you know, I've talked to Chad Brown about this with other horses in the past, and he feels that sometimes at night, running at those odd times can throw off their rhythm, and perhaps that's the reason. Now, I don't know if that's the reason he believes it happened, but I'm going to believe he wouldn't go back in this race if he didn't think he was doing well. But the good news is Paul got to catch up with his owner, Ken Ramsey, last night at the draw.
I mean, I bet with one hand, both hands, or else I keep my hands in my pocket.
May I ask, is it going to be both hands? And how much are going to be in both hands if Backyard Heaven wins?
I don't bet that much on them to win. I usually try to tie them up into pick 6 or pick 4 or something other. I like the gimmicks, but anyway, I'll have a wager on him based on what I know right now.
This is a man that takes as much pride as winning the Shadwell Turf Mile as the Barbados Cup. He loves all kinds of racing, and one of my favorite, Ken Ramsey. Good luck on Saturday.
Yeah, we won that Barbados Gold Cup 3 times.
See?
He did not just remind us about the Barbados Gold Cup, did he?
He loves the Barbados Gold Cup. Wow.
That is tremendous. He's such a colorful character. Always good to see Ken Ramsey. He was at the draw, of course, on Tuesday night. Smiling, gave me one of those Ramsey silk spins.
Really?
Yes, he did.
Wow, you're like a member of the club now.
I felt very special to get it. Tapwrit, of course, going to be lining up at the Whitney as well. It's going to be his 3rd start off the bench. He tried to chase Diversify in that Suburban, but to no avail. Can he move forward? Here's what Todd Pletcher had to say.
I like the rail. I think for him it's important. He likes to be kind of in the thick of the battle, and it seems like some of his races where he hasn't performed as well as when he's on the outside and kind of gets, you know, lost out there. Seems like he's trained well since the Suburban. I thought he actually trained really well leading up to it, so we're hoping maybe, you know, 3rd time off the layoff that this will be his best race.
Just shake my head.
So Tapwrit making his 3rd start off the bench in the Whitney. He will definitely need some big-time improvement if he's going to get the better Diversify and some of the others in there.
Yeah, Diversify just ran the field off of their feet, but Tapwrit clearly has talent. Just haven't been impressed with either of his performances back this year.
Race 9, let's set it up for you. 5.5 furlongs on the turf. New York breds, an allowance optional claiming field coming up. And we've talked a lot over the first week and a half or so of racing. Joe Sharp has had a tremendous meet. All his horses have been live. Douse's Beach, 5-2 favorite right now.
He is an all or nothing proposition, though. He's a horse who has tremendous back class, but you don't know if that's still the case anymore.
We shall see. Blinkers going on. Joe Sharp off the claim coming up in a very competitive 9th race ahead. We'll have a paddock report post-parade when we come back for the 9th. That's still to come here on Saratoga Live. Of course, Monday night, it was Riders Up. Jockeys singing all for a good cause in Jockey Karaoke.
Multifaceted, talented individuals here at NYRA. I mean, these guys are unbelievable. The passion they have for the sport, the passion they have for the charity, phenomenal. Great crowd, great people, just a great event for a great charity. I mean, unbelievable, unbelievable event.
Visit Rivers Casino and Resort, upstate New York's ultimate entertainment destination with live table game action and the hottest new slots paying out millions. Book your luxury waterfront room or suite at upstate New York's premier resort, the Landing Hotel at Rivers Casino and Resort.
They're on. Bet the horses anywhere, anytime with Naira Bets. Rushes out of there to take the lead. It's easy on your computer or Naira Bets app. Earn valuable reward points on bets. Play in our exclusive promotions and earn cash rebates. Off the turn with a link to the half lead. Sign up now. Bet $200 and get $200. Bet any track, anywhere, anytime. NairaBets.com.
Back on Saratoga Live, those are the jockey lanes that you are not allowed in. Only the jockeys as they make their way back to the jockeys room after the race, but usually lined with autograph seekers as they get set for the next race coming up. And our next race coming up, 9th, 5.5 furlongs on the turf. And we're going to check in now for a paddock report with Maggie Wolfendale. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm, now standing Curlin for $150,000.
And checking in with your current favorite, it's number 9, Douse's Beach here. We'll go first off the claim for the pretty hot Joe Sharp barn as this gray son of Disco Rico. He will be getting back to 5.5 furlongs, a distance he hasn't quite faced necessarily recently, but I do believe he's very proficient at. I prefer him going shorter than longer here. His weight looks fantastic, and ultimately, you know, he is third off of the layoff, so that's always a good kind of form cycle thing to bank on here. Also adding just a shortcut blinker overall. We'll see how he does. I'm liking what I'm seeing from him, though, in the paddock. Moving on to number 8, Spiteful Kitten. He is going to be a decent price here, coming off the back of a not-so-good effort. And the fact that there's moisture in this turf course, well, might be a reason not to necessarily love Spiteful Kitten. But I like what I see from him here physically. And also, he's a horse that he wore a lot of equipment last year, especially in regards to his bit. He had an extended cage bit, which is not something Lyndon necessarily uses. He comes back here today, and he is just wearing a plain kind of Houghton bit. It's still the same thing, but not quite as severe looking overall. And he is forward, he is sharp, and he does look fit enough. We'll see how he deals with the turf, though, as we'll take a look at the horse who may ultimately be the fastest in number 6, Uncle Huge. For trainer Hugh McMahon shipping up here from Laurel off the back of 2 wins at Laurel. Now, again, we'll see how he handles this turf course, but he looks great. And now as a 5-year-old, he's definitely settled a bit more. He used to get really wound up here the times that I'd seen him in the Saratoga paddock, but just a great weight, great coat to him overall here in the paddock. But guys over on the set, Andy and Paul, I want to hear what your thoughts are here on this 9th race.
I don't know about the others. I'm not particularly clever in here. I am surprised right now, Paul, that Frisky Magician is 7-2. To me, he's getting a huge needed class drop. He ran extremely well 2-back against tougher horses. And, you know, he's shown some speed at times before, and I feel like Jose Ortiz might get him a little more in the game than he's been recently against better horses.
Yeah, and I think he's going to be fresh. I think what's plagued him before is, you're right, he's been running against tougher horses. Disco Partner's a world record holder who he lost to last time in the Jaipur. He's been a little bit sluggish out of the gate. So I think maybe being a little bit fresh, he can sit a little bit closer.
Yeah, the horse that's the favorite right now, Douse's Beach, and Gabby touched on the all or none concept with that horse. I know that's Uncle Huge. Want to talk about Uncle Huge, or we can talk about Douse's Beach. Douse's Beach, listen, everything Joe Sharp is running is running lights out, and leaving his horses out, you do at your own peril. This is a horse that was in a pretty good barn by Brad Cox. He got very good off the claim for Brad Cox, and his form has been dreadful. I don't trust this horse at all, Paul.
No, I don't either. You know, in his one bad race, when he was in great form, was here at Saratoga. Then he went up to Woodbine, and his form went south from there. And then, okay, he gets claimed. Now he comes back for 40. My worry is he's only got 2 races since November of last year.
And he was claimed for 60,000, and now they're running him for 40. I'm scared of him. Uncle Huge has been good. You know what worries me about the 6 Uncle Huge? His trainer, Hugh McMahon, has very weak numbers in New York. He's 0 for 16 at the NYRA tracks the last 5 years, and just 2 for 39 overall.
What's changed? Can you tell me what's changed in those last 2 starts? Because he stopped the clock in 101 and 1.
He's been good.
Really good. And, like, it just, I don't know if it's come out of nowhere, but because he's had some good efforts back then, but it looks like he's in really good form right now.
Can he make the lead here, though?
That's going to be the key. If he can get to the front end, he's going to be tough to handle. And they bring in their local rider, Fergal Lynch.
Call to post from Sam the Bugler as we get set for this 9th in this 5.5 furlong turf sprint. Yeah, the guys we're talking about, Uncle Huge, back-to-back wins on the lead in both, and before that faced the super fast Rocket Heat, who we saw win here just a few days ago. Here's the 2, Samadhi Sky, going to be cutting back in distance for Ed Barker.
Yeah, the first time that he's actually ever gone 5.5 furlongs, but ran a good race, although it was 1 1/16 last time out.
Patrick Quick trains Callan. Jose Lezcano rides.
His horse ran a gallant race last time. They stuck him on the turf the last 4 starts, and he really has improved. He's been a big price. He's outrun his odds each time.
Frisky Magician, a 2013 Fasig-Tipton August sale graduate for Jorge Abreu.
He's a horse who gets a tremendous class relief from his last 2 races.
Ethan Hunt coming off a win, and there's a big step up here. He's a 2015 Fasig-Tipton July sale graduate.
This colt by Mission Impossible has completely improved since going to the turf, and you get Joel Rosario. I think a sneaky 14-to-1 shot here.
Uncle Huge, he is quick. He's put together back-to-back wins at Laurel, coming in for Hugh McMahon.
Yeah, back-to-back wins, going wire to wire, but is he fast enough to make the lead against these types today?
Spiteful Kitten, Manny Franco, Linda Rice.
This is another one who is very, very fast on his best day. He could pose as a problem for the 6 Uncle Huge.
Douse's Beach, still the favorite right now. Off the claim for Joe Sharp. Luis Saez rides.
Pretty as can be, right? That gray city, gray son of Disco Rico. He likes this racetrack. 3 for 5 lifetime.
Tribeca the 10, a 2015 Fasig-Tipton September sale graduate for Gary Siaka.
One that cuts back in distance last time out, 1 1/16, but could be involved in all that pace that we were talking about.
And here's Banana Thief. He's a 2014 Fasig-Tipton May sale graduate for Steve Asmussen.
Listen, I get it. Steve Asmussen is hot, but this horse is 0 for 12 the last 2 years. I don't know where this money is coming from, but if he wins this race, he should never grow his hair again.
And this horse, interesting on the outside for Jason Service, second off the bench. What's to talk about?
Yeah, he, I think, is very interesting if that pace scenario does develop in front of him. He's making a second start off the layoff.
And let's backtrack here to the 3 we missed here. This is Callant, Jose Lizcano for Patrick Quick.
Yeah, this horse I was talking about. Since they've stuck him back on the turf, he really has run well. 2 good races and almost wired a field last time. Listen, he's 26-to-1, and the 12 was just ahead of him, and he was 5-to-1 last time out.
So that is your field here for race 9. 5.5 furlongs here on the turf coming up. Right now, it's Douse's Beach, the 9 horse. The 5-2 favorite, trainer Joe Sharp off the claim as we take a look at Frisky Magician exiting the toughest race of anybody. Disco Partner, former world record holder at 6 furlongs, so he had to deal with last time out. We'll be back.
His record-breaking accomplishments on the racetrack paved his way here to the Stall of Legends. Now retired to stud, we welcome the dawning of a new era as this esteemed champion hopes to stake his claim to immortality. His blazing speed and striking good looks have been passed down to his remarkable first foals. Foals that will carry the flag of their famous father and one day hope to break records of their own. Medication-free and undefeated in sprint competition. Run happy, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Can say is that I think that, Robbie, you've had a terrible influence on your son. You guys were great. I never thought I could see that. That's wonderful.
So that was Jockey Karaoke from Monday night. Robbie Davis and his son Dylan Davis. And I got to tell you, Robbie Davis can dance.
Wow, they were getting down low, man. That was tremendous. They actually didn't sound that badly either. Or did they?
You mean just now or that night?
Like,
because yeah, right there, I thought they sounded okay,
yeah.
but I was there live and I didn't think they sounded all that good. But Robbie's dancing was so good, I didn't even notice.
It distracted you.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we're going to reveal the winners still to come. We're going to have a little more on that great benefit from Monday night ahead. Again, benefiting the permanently disabled Jockeys Fund. Right now, though, it's race 9. Trying to come up with a winner here in a very competitive turf sprint. I still think Uncle Huge, the 6, at 7-1, offers some nice value here, trying to win 3 in a row.
Yeah, he's definitely been in good form. The biggest question, though, is if he's going to be able to make the lead here today, because there's some other very quick early horses, including this one.
Yeah, Joe Sharp off the claim on turf at 5 furlongs to 6.5 furlongs over the last 5 years, winning at almost 30%.
Yeah, you bring that stat into play on top of the fact that he has had such a tremendous meet so far, too.
Yeah, even he's won with 50% of his runners. Those who have not won have still run good. Everything he is sending out right now, trainer Joe Sharp, has been live here at Saratoga. Frisky Magician, meanwhile, trained by Jorge Abreu. We're going to see the 4 here coming up in a moment. Coming out of the Grade 2 Jaipur, we mentioned faced tons tougher last start. Had to go against Disco Partner. That is a world record holder at 6 furlongs. For more on this 6-year-old, let's check in with Maggie Wolfendale.
Thank you, Greg. And we'll take a look at number 4 in here. That is Frisky Magician, as connections are awfully ambitious with this horse off the claim. They get more realistic back with New York breds. And to me, he looked great. I mean, he was warmed up by himself by jockey Jose Ortiz. The Ortiz brothers seem to like to do that with their horses. And he just makes sense here, getting that overall class relief. And I really liked what I had seen from him going out for trainer Jorge Abreu. We'll see if he can get a second win on the card. Greg?
All right, Maggie, thank you. Yeah, Frisky Magician, 3-1 currently, in a big class drop here.
The thing about him, too, Greg, is that he is sometimes a very difficult horse to ride. You need to time your closing move very appropriately. Otherwise, he has a tendency to hang a little bit. So I like the fact that Jose Ortiz, who has experience on him, actually a good race 3 starts ago at Gulfstream, is back aboard him today.
And Maggie mentioned Jorge winning earlier on the card. He won race 3 with Jose Ortiz. That was Ghost Giant in a 5.5 furlong turf sprint. That was for maidens. Banana Thief, the guys downstairs, they disagree on this 6-year-old. Guys?
No, actually, Paul and I both feel like he's a player, maybe for a bit of a lesser award. He has trouble winning. And he's perhaps facing some slightly tougher horses today. But, you know, Paul, one of my thoughts with him was he's a horse that has been jammed up inside a horse in recent races. And I thought with his outside post, maybe he'd get a clearer run today in the stretch.
The one thing he has going for him, he has that one win over the turf course, or at least here at Saratoga, at least at this distance. So he has that going for him, but I think the money's coming just because Steve Asmussen has been hot. So, you know who's an interesting horse here, Greg? I think the 2, Samadhi Sky, could sit a trip. If this race falls apart, look for the 2 late.
Yeah, Gabby, I was really intrigued to see what Samadhi Sky did here. And this fact is this horse, we know he can sprint because he's won sprinting on dirt, but he's got turf ability as well.
Exactly. His race last time out was against Gucci Factor, who I think is a very quality horse. Turnbacks on the turf, generally speaking, don't pan out too well. But as you mentioned, he's proven that he can sprint. So we'll see.
That was the favorite that just stepped in line, the 9 horse for trainer Joe Sharp off the claim. He has had a tremendous meet to start off here at Saratoga. Can he keep it going? We're going to find out with Dowses Beach, the 9 horse here with Luis Saez in the irons. Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York racing for the call, Larry Colmus.
What's to talk about is the last one to load here. And they're all in line. They're off. Wants to Talk About broke well from that far outside post. There goes Uncle Huge up and after the lead in company with Dowses Beach. These two take over. Then comes Tribeca, who's away running in 4th position. Ethan Hunt follows in 5th. Callant is 6th and down on the inside. After that comes Spiteful Kitten. They're being followed by Samadhi Sky, Frisky Magician, and Banana Thief is the trailer. Uncle Huge leads them along in company with Dowses Beach, 22.35 that first quarter mile. These two are clear. Wants to Talk About is 2 lengths behind them. Ethan Hunt is 4th on the outside. Tribeca 5th and down toward the rail as they come toward the top of the stretch. Callant is next. The others need to get moving as they turn for home. Uncle Huge on the inside. Try to fight off the challenge of Dowses Beach. Wants to Talk About comes up to them. And then comes Ethan Hunt on the outside. Down the center, Banana Thief is charging. And Frisky Magician on the inside is also coming on through. They're coming down to the wire. Banana Thief, Frisky Magician, Banana Thief did it! Frisky Magician was second best on the wire. What's to Talk About? Then came Ethan Hunt in Samadhi Sky in 103.29.
Steve Asmussen can do no wrong right now at this meet. Banana Thief from off the pace gets the win.
Yeah, he does. This horse I did not like. 0 for 12 the last 2 years, but when you're hot, you're hot.
He's 3 for 24 on form. His wins definitely come infrequently, but this was a perfect ride by Ricardo Santana. Obviously, that pace did develop in front of him to set up for some of these closers, Andy.
This was an extremely contentious pace with 2 of the favorites dueling up front. Jose Ortiz opted to go inside with the 4-horse Frisky Magician, which could have muted his bid. But as we talked about before the race, Ricardo Santana with an outside post got an outside clear run. And the outside clean run is what allowed Banana Thief to finally stretch his leg and get a narrow victory. But as you alluded to, Gabby, this race was set up by the pace.
We're taking a look at the head-on right here. Green and white silks on the outside. That is your eventual winner, Banana Thief here. And any issues here cutting off the 5-horse?
No, I don't think it was the 11 cutting off the 5-horse. He's completely clear. I was looking at the 2 Samadhi Sky. It was actually Samadhi Sky that was trying to make that move. Dylan Davis had a lot of horse. But when you looked at it at the pan view at the end of it, he really didn't. He was trying to squeeze through a keyhole, and he really couldn't get through it. I don't think they might take a look at it. I don't think anything really
I agree with you on that, Paul. I think this is a very good example of the difference between trying to make that clean rally on the outside as opposed to making a run inside. Horses can get intimidated. And I also want to point out the 12, What's Not to Talk About, who I think ran very well here. First of all, he's a horse that has a very short burst in him. And Ira Ortiz found himself chasing what was a fast pace that totally fell apart. And he held on well to be a narrowly beaten 3rd. And I think if you took this race apart and looked at how it was run, I'm not sure the 12, What's to Talk About, didn't actually run the best race. And I say that having used only the 4 and 11.
I know this, Greg. I'm going to ask you this question. I've seen a lot of double-digit numbers as we see an objection on the 12 been posted up first on the turf course so far at Saratoga this meet.
Yeah, there's that objection sign up on What's to Talk About, but Banana Thief, this is a tough one to come up with. Even as hot as this barn has been, this horse just does not like to win a lot.
He does not, but he did get a perfect setup here. We see the objection posted on the 12, What's to Talk About, and Paul kind of mentioning that, you know, these horses who are running from these outside post positions actually have been quite successful on the turf so far this meet.
We saw it earlier. That was in a longer race, of course, back in race number 7. It was Steve Asmussen again would follow the signs, and now from an outside slot, sprinting at 5.5 furlongs. As we take a look at the head-on once again.
Yeah, we're trying to pay attention to the number 12 horse, who is with the big white blaze and the white bridle. It's appeared that the rider was going right-handed. I don't know. This is an interesting objection.
To me, it looks like the 5, guys. I don't. If you look in between horses, the 12 is like the one with the white face, like Gabby's saying. The 5 is in the red silks. Watch the 5 come in on the 2 right here as the 2 tries to get out. I think that's where it is. The 12 holds his position. I don't think it's anything there at all. Now, if you look at the pan view, again, 12's in front with the white face. 5 is on the outside. The 2 is trying to split horses right here. To me, it looks like the 5 runs into the 2, then the 11 and the 12 hold space. Watch the 2 sort of lose position, but not really.
From what I'm looking at, and we're watching the head-on our channel, and the 12 in the pan below it. I agree, Paul.
Yeah.
I don't know what the 12 was doing. I don't know what he could
It's the
do.
2 against the 12 in the stretch that's just been posted. So,
well,
Dylan Davis, Samadhi Sky.
I love Dylan Davis, but I think he's got the wrong number here.
Yeah, he's got the 5. The 5 to blame. Maybe the 11 coming in a tiny bit, shied the 5 over, but I just don't think there's enough there to change any of the positions.
No change.
All right, so waiting for the official to be posted here. But yeah, I think it did seem like it was the 5 there. 11-4, 12-5. Inquiry, objection, still going on here.
Don't we just have a daily objection? That's what it really comes down to, right? There has to be one objection on every show.
Yeah, it just seemed like the 12, what's to talk about, was completely in the clear. I mean, he did kind of deviate from his path. He kind of went outside, and then we can see him go back inside under Irad Ortiz, who he did keep to the right hand, but I'm not so sure if the 2 didn't have space to begin with.
I think the thing about it is here, Gabby, is when the 2 did get space, he didn't really move forward. It didn't really cost him the position. If he moves up maybe a couple lengths and you're like, oh, it cost the 2 maybe third, it's a better, maybe the stewards will take a thing. He really didn't do much after.
It's also good for the stewards to look at the films. I mean, obviously, a jockey can claim foul as well, and the public wants the stewards to be looking to make sure nothing happened. But at the end of the day, you got a big field and a very compact space in the stretch.
Yeah.
It's hard to believe anything of consequence really took place
Yeah,
here.
100%.
Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale downstairs.
Oh, we were just, Ricardo's not out of breath, but he's just telling me, Banana Thief, not the easiest horse to ride.
Well, he's the horse that he's really hard to ride, you know. He had to put in behind the horses because if he see the clear, he want to run it off, and he no finish. So you have to wait for the last moment with him, and today he loved the track, and he ran a big race.
Were you expecting him to like this track? Because he hadn't really given that inclination maybe in his prior efforts, but he kind of thrived, and actually when he saw the horses to his inside, he fought on a bit.
Well, I have a lot of confidence in the horse, you know. I ride it like 2 or 3 times, and he's a fighter. He's the horse that he always fight. He don't care how the track it is. He always give it to him his best, and today I was hoping that we got a good trip, you know, and I was a little worried because I was on the side, and I put him behind the horses, and he relaxed pretty good, and in turn for home, he gave it to me everything he had.
Now, Ricardo, it's helping that Steve's barn's going great, and you're his go-to guy, but you're also riding for other people with a lot of confidence. I know you tried New York kind of overall in the past. Do you give it another think here coming into the fall for Belmont?
Well, I let my agent take that decision. You know, I'm the rider that always try hard for everybody, and my trainer Steve is doing a really good job, and the horses he bring the horses ready to go, and well, you know, we're doing really good, thanks God.
Well, congratulations. You deserve it. Enjoy it.
Thank you so much.
And, Greg, I have to give to Steve's assistant, Toby Sheets, downstate, a lot of credit as well for these 2 wins today. They both came up from the Belmont training track. So props to my man, Toby.
Well, total team effort. So nice, Maggie, to give congratulations all around to that barn. It's not just about the man on top, but that whole team that's helping this success, and they are off to a tremendous start here at Saratoga.
Of course, Banana Thief returning $17.20, and Ricardo Santana, man, he has had an incredible start to the Saratoga meeting.
So Ricardo Santana Jr., he's gone to the winner's circle quite a bit because he's the main man for Steve Asmussen as we take a look at the Naira Bets late pick 5 follow along, and our biggest number we've seen in the sequence yet in Banana Thief.
I warned you it wasn't going to get any easier, not to say that I really had a lot of confidence in Banana Thief. I'm curious to see how it all gets wrapped up in the finale.
Look at the jockey standings, and Ricardo Santana Jr. well into double digits. That was his 11th winner at the meet so far, but Luis Saez on top of everybody. The Ortiz brothers in second, Irad, and Jose with 5 right now. You got to figure he's going to get going here at some point.
No, for sure. And Luis Saez has just had an incredible year in general. He took the Gulfstream Park Championship meet this winter, and he's continuing the momentum.
We're going to take a break. We still have another one to come here. We're going to close things out with a nightcap ahead. 6 furlong sprint on the main track. Ricardo Santana Jr. in the winner's circle. We'll be back.
This proven son of Giants Causeway has sired 4 millionaires, including Claiborne Farm stallion Lee. Recent top runners include 4-time graded stakes winner Miss Sky Warrior, 3-time graded stakes winner Sharp Samurai, multiple stakes winner Bal Harbor, and Dubai Group 3 winner Shamal Nibras. Last year, his 2-year-olds sold up to $540,000, while his yearlings fetched up to a whopping $575,000. First Samurai, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Success starts at Saratoga. The Saratoga Selected Yearling Sale has established a reputation for high quality and high performance. Recent graduates include Grade 1 winners Avenge, Bolt d'Oro, and Moonshine Memories, and 2017 Breeders' Cup champions Battle of Midway, Stormy Liberal, and Rushing Full. The nation's #1 sale by percentage of Grade 1 winners, the Fasig-Tipton Saratoga Sale, August 6th and 7th.
We found Breeders' Cup champion Rushing Fall at Saratoga. Where will you be?
Back on Saratoga Live on Fox Sports 2 and other regional networks across the country. Good to have you with us. Monday night, it was Jockey Karaoke, all for a great cause, benefiting the permanently disabled Jockeys Fund. It's always a fantastic evening. In case you were not able to attend, here's a little taste of what happened.
See that girl, watch that scene, they get the dancing queen. Stand by me, oh stand now. Stand by me, stand by me.
All I can say is if your singing ability matched your confidence, you would be unbeatable.
It don't make no sense, out here dripping and finished. You know it, you know it. No aguanto más las ganas.
I didn't understand a word that you sang.
I think in any language that was muy malo.
Julian, you better hope they keep this video in the continental United States.
As a former KISS concert goer in the 70s,
who knew?
I have to say, you killed it.
I'd second that. They did awesome.
Jump on it. You sexy, that's on it. You freaky, that own it. Don't brag about it. Show me.
I have more pictures of Javier on my wall than my kids, so he can do no wrong for me. Perfect.
Turn around and shine, play that funky music, white boy. Play that funky music right. 'Cause we are the champions of the world.
I thought, Florian, you did a perfect job of making everyone want the evening to end.
The Judges' Choice winners this year, put your lips together for Kiss. Phil Tater and Mike Luzzy. Phil, Mike, congratulations. Fabulous job.
It wasn't even close, really. If you were there, Mike Luzzy and Phil Teeter brought the house down, and they were hands down the best. But great night for a great cause. It's always a good time. They were tremendous.
They sounded like it. Joe Bravo, on the other hand,
Oh,
love him as
what
a
was he
man,
thinking?
but he cannot carry a tune with a bucket. Sorry, Joe. But just to follow up on that, definitely go and check out the PDJF on both Facebook and Twitter, because this was the inaugural year for the West Coast division of Jockey Karaoke. So the winner still has to be determined between Joe Talamo and obviously
East
Mike
Coast, West Coast.
East Coast, West Coast, Mike Luzzy, Phil Teeter. So I think the poll closes on August 2nd. So definitely make sure you check that out too.
Okay, and again, you can do your part to help the Permanently Disabled Jockeys Fund. Go to pdjf.org. Let's hear from the winners after the event.
It's a great night, great cause. Everybody knows that it could be them someday, so we're all competitors, but we're a family. We all support each other. We all look out for each other. I've been practicing this since I was 9 years old. My wife did the makeup. We've been thinking about, we were trying to get the real outfits, but then we said, listen, it's Jockey Karaoke. Let's be Jockey Kiss.
They rocked it.
His wife did that makeup?
That's,
wow.
I mean, that had to take hours. That
Easy.
Alone, just walking out on stage with the makeup, they could have won that thing. There's more for the PDJF coming up. There's the charity basketball game. Jockeys versus Horsemen, and New York Knicks legend Bernard King is going to be there.
Yeah, the jockeys always bring in a ringer. They do.
Rumor has it, Bernard King may be on our show tomorrow.
Ooh.
Stay tuned for that on Thursday. We still have one more race to go here on this Wednesday afternoon. 6 furlongs on the main track for horses who have not won 2 lifetime. Couple of the main contenders in this race were taken out. The 6 had a big shot, so did the 9. But I think it almost makes it a more interesting race now with those horses out. Smash Williams for trainer Todd Pletcher drops in class. I don't know if I trust this horse. We're going to take a break. We'll talk more about it when we come back on Saratoga Live.
Grade 1 winner Data Link by world-renowned sire Warthrum. Data Link scored in the prestigious Grade 1 Makers 46 mile at Keeneland, then set a new course record in the Grade 2 Monmouth Stakes. His runners include stakes winner Saratoga, along with a growing list of talented young runners. At public auction, his yearlings have sold up to $200,000. Data Link, standing at Claiborne Park.
You're watching Saratoga Live Community Outreach Booth, hosting Gallup New York City, a nonprofit organization based in the Big Apple that offers therapeutic horsemanship programs to children and adults with disabilities and those with special needs, including veterans and at-risk youth. That was going on this afternoon. Always all kinds of events going on at Saratoga. He's your reigning champion of Jockey Karaoke. I don't recognize him, though, without the Kiss makeup on. They are one and the same. He should have worn the Kiss makeup for the last.
I want to know how long it took him to get that off of his face.
Mike Leslie's going to be on Lake Party, the 4-horse here. Big long shot coming up here in the Nightcap. We're going to check in right now with Maggie Wolfendale for Paddock Report. It's brought to you by Hillendale Farm, now standing Curlin for $150,000.
Thanks, Greg. And we do see your current favorite here in the paddock with number 7, Smash Williams. And look, yes, there's something that doesn't feel quite right about this horse basically being cut in half in regards to his claiming price after not showing up as a beaten effort in that non-2 life at Gulfstream Park. So, yes, Todd wants to win races up here. We all do. And so you get aggressive with your horses. I can't find anything here in the paddock, though, to fault him by. He's a bigger, good-looking son of More Than Ready. We'll see. The drop is a little scary, but we'll see what happens with him as we'll move on to number 11, Discreet Mission. And this guy, maybe connections just being realistic. And the fact of the matter is he's faced way better horses, in my opinion, than what we see here. And every time I've seen him, at least in his last 2, I liked the way he looked. So obviously he's not putting forth those big efforts that he had been on the track going back to before that year layoff, or geez, nearly 2-year layoff. But I think he makes sense here for trainer John Kimmel. It's just the class relief, and physically, I like what I see. And then we'll take a look at the new gelding on the outside. That's number 13, Money Laundering here. Last time off of that long layoff, a little bit of a troubled trip overall. We'll see. He was kind of supposed to run a little bit better than that, but now he's a gelding. He's definitely a lot fitter, lightened up a little bit, concentrating well here in the paddock. We'll see if that works. And plus, this is the site where he broke his maiden, Andy.
Well, I think it might be the site where he gets his second win, and I know Paul agrees with me. And Paul, I love the outside draw for this horse. He broke a step slow last time, but then he just got badly stayed off heels and was forced to come through on the inside. And once again, that's not what a speed horse like him wants to do. He wants to be free running.
Yeah, he does want to be free running. We'll show you that start. And if you look at the start, if you look at his other races, he's always been a horse that has broken very, very sharply. So I'm with you. The last one to load today, he's going to have to gun towards the front end. He's a new gelding. They did drop him for 16, but I just think this is the type of field that you can run somebody off their feet.
And here's a perfect example. We talked about it in the last race with that turf race. Coming through on the inside, yes, he had room, but this is not how horses want to run. First of all, he's a free-running type horse, and he's fast. I think today, second off, he breaks sharply. Maybe he has to stalk another horse. I think he might be able to clear, and today's day is supposed to run. I'd much rather bet him than the 7, Smash Williams.
Well, I mean, listen, the public is looking at 3 different horses right now, the 7, 11, and the 13. Who does the 13 have to worry about? He has to worry about the 11. If he outquicks the 11 early, he's going to be very tough in there, Andy.
The 13 Money Laundering, Paul and I both agree, is a major player, but we also both agree that the number 11 horse in this race is a player as well. And I think when you talk about the 11 Discreet Mission, you're talking about a horse that's been facing significantly better horses. In his last race, he was chasing a monstrously fast pace, going a mile against much better horses that fell apart. His effort really wasn't that bad. Another horse that was close to that pace and actually behind him came back to win, albeit on the turf in his next start. That's on or up.
Yeah, the interesting thing about this gelding is his races going short are so bad. Going a little bit longer than a mile, they're better. I really don't know what to do. With the drop in class, obviously, is going to help out his speed, but he's a confusing horse.
I'm putting my play together to throw out the 7, Smash Williams, who I don't like. His last was terrible. I'm using the 12, Analyze Your Luck. Great numbers turning back for Jeremiah Englehart, and I think he's a good combination with the 11 and 12, who both have some speed. 11 and 13 will have speed.
Here comes our post parade, and we're going to kick things off with the 2, Can Go, for trainer Nick Zito, Florent Giroux aboard.
This horse appears to be in a difficult spot in a very competitive field. I just don't know if he's fast enough.
32-1 on Can Go. Zanotto, the 3, sent out by the James Bond barn. Dylan Davis aboard.
Poor performance last time out on a sloppy sealed track, but his race 2 starts back at Aqueduct could be competitive against this bunch.
Your jockey karaoke winner, Lake Party, Mike Luzzy for Gary Contessa.
Well, maybe he can sing the horse to victory.
5 horses Musicality, Rajiv Mirage aboard for Greg Matties.
A horse who actually managed to beat, 9 others in his maiden score. We'll see what he can do today with Rajiv Mirage in the saddle.
Scratch to 6, our current favorite on the board at 5-2. The class dropper for Todd Pletcher, Smash Williams.
Yeah, this horse has been bet off the board in each and every one of his starts. I'm not his biggest fan as the favorite.
Go big or go home. Second off the claim for Gary Gullo.
He just ran dreadful off the claim for Gary Gullo last time, and Gary's very good off the claim. I don't know what to expect against a horse, but with a horse who at one time would have buried this field.
It was almost too bad to believe. He was one of the favorites in that race as well. The 10, Street Cat Sam, sent out by James Ferraro.
His last fig gives him a chance, but it sticks out like a sore thumb. I don't trust it, and his other races are too slow.
Discreet Mission in for a tag for the first time in a while since his maiden victory for John Kimmel.
Yeah, this is who I like. He's getting a class relief, and he's got enough natural speed to get himself in the game from that outside post position.
Analyze your luck. It's Manny Franco riding for Jeremiah Engelhardt.
Cutting back in distance, he will need this pace to fall apart. If it does, I think he's a player.
And Money Laundering, Kendrick Carmouche, second off the bench from the outside for Bruce Levine in a recent gelding.
Good thing Kendrick Carmouche is in the saddle, because they're going to have to send from the outside.
He is on the board at 5-2. Son of Soaring Empire for McRich Stables. So 5-2 on Money Laundering, the 13 horse, along with Smash Williams, the 7 horse, slightly favored here for trainer Todd Pletcher. Rad Ortiz Jr. aboard. Dropped in class last start. Can he do it again on a further drop? We shall see. Nightcap coming up.
This 3-time Graded Stakes winning millionaire defeated 20 Grade 1 winners. In the Dixie Stakes, he defeated Canadian champion and Horse of the Year Up with the Birds and set a new course record at Saratoga. Now the excitement is building as his first foals have arrived this year. 1/2 to 4 Graded Stakes winners, Ironicus has the speed, class, and bloodlines to become the next great sire by Distorted Humor. Ironicus, standing at Claiborne Farm.
Back on Saratoga Live and right across the street from this racetrack, the National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame on Friday. Heavenly Prize will be inducted into the Hall of Fame. Daughter of the Phipps family seeking the gold out of the Nijinsky, the Sagamaro, What a Dance, the only horse, jockey, or trainer elected from the 10 finalists on this year's ballot. But a lot of other names going to be inducted as well as pillars of the turf, including the man who helped found this racetrack, John Morrissey. Arthur Hancock Sr. will be inducted as well. Cornelius Vanderbilt Whitney. Just a few of the names, including the horse Preakness and his trainer, William Lakeland. Go to SaratogaVisit.com. You can find all kinds of information about things to do around town, including the Racing Museum and Hall of Fame and all the great things there are to do around this town, including Lake Saratoga. All right, our Nightcap coming up. We're going to check in with Maggie Wolfendale for more on this horse right here, Musicality.
Yeah, just trying to get a little creative here, Greg. And yes, there's some scratches, but kind of relatively speaking, he is taking a couple nibbles. Granted, the Matisse guys, Greg Matisse, who's a trainer of this horse, they like to bet. So I'm sure they may have put the word out on Musicality as well. But you look at this horse, he only has one fast track race out of his 3, and he broke his maiden. Yes, it was a maiden 25 field, but really at the end of the day, what killers is he facing here? He comes back off the layoff. He looks extremely fit to me, and I love the way he was moving out here on the track in the warm-up as well beneath Regime Mirage. So I think he's pretty intriguing as kind of a long shot to maybe use underneath here in your exotic. So Andy, I know you're a Matisse fan. What do you think about Musicality?
Well, I mean, the Matisses are friends of mine. I have great respect for them as handicappers and as people as well. I don't think this horse has a prayer. I do, however, think the 3 Zenato is a long shot to take a look at. I'll tell you, when this horse broke his maiden 2 races back, Paul, he ran exceptionally well. Now, the horse he beat, O'Shea-Can-You-See, has improved since then.
Yeah, yes.
But O'Shea-Can-You-See got a perfect trip that day, and Zenato did all the dirty work. Last time out, sloppy sealed track against better at Finger Lakes. He's an interesting long shot that you and I agree on.
Yeah, I do. You know, he beat 13 horses. So many times you see in the racing form, you see these 5-horse fields, 6-horse fields, and they're really tough to gauge. I don't care. He won a state-bred maiden 30. I get it. It was at Aqueduct. But there was 14 rivals in that field. He beat 13 other. And, you know, his last race at the Finger Lakes was not that bad. He's put in a reasonable spot here. You're getting 12-1, and he can stay relatively close in stock.
Yeah, I think he's a very interesting horse to get in there at a price. The 7 Smash Williams continues to be favored. Let's take a look at him. First of all, his first 2 races were on wet tracks. The track is dry today. We got almost no rain today. Last time out, his only time on a dry track, he was 3-2. He was also 1-2, 2-5, and 3-5 in his first 2 starts. He was 1-2. I thought he was absolutely awful in that race, Paul. I wouldn't bet a nickel on him. I think the play is to toss the 7 Smash Williams.
The crazy part about this horse is, okay, I'm going to take the contrarian view, and the reason why is I don't like the horse. But Todd Pletcher, Gulfstream horses coming into Saratoga so far this meet, 4 for 12 with a second, which absolutely surprised me because his horses haven't really been running that great. So 4 of the 6 wins are from Gulfstream. But I'm with you. After watching this Colts last start, I just can't take it. I can't take it at 7-2.
I like Gabby. I think the 11 horse, Discreet Mission's a better bet at a bigger price, and I think the 13 as well. 3, 11, 12, 13, my box, Gabby.
Yeah, this, I do think that Smash Williams obviously is a little bit vulnerable, but it's an interesting stat that Paul brings up, actually, in Todd Pletcher's success with bringing horses up from Gulfstream to here, and it just seems like the right spot for him. But I did land on the 11 Discreet Mission, who I prefer. He's got enough speed to get himself, I think, into a decent position. I saw him warming up on the track. And again, we mentioned earlier that it is humid and warm out, so not surprised to see some of these horses building up a bit of a lather on the track. But his ears are pricked. He looks like he's got good energy. He's dropping in class. The last time that he dropped in class, he won.
He just hasn't shown ability sprinting, though, has he? That concerns me a little.
Maybe not so much, yes. But I still think that he's going to be able to fit the flow of the race. There's just not too much speed in here. I mean, he's not going to be far off of it.
Yeah, he should be tracking for sure. I mean, this kind of race, we have some big numbers on the board. This kind of race at this level, non-winners to 2 lifetime for 16,000. I don't think there's anyone you can truly say they have no prayer or chance in this race.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, I could make a case for several horses, the 13 being one of them.
I'm with Paul. I like this money laundering on the outside.
You think he just wires the field?
He's won at Saratoga. That's how he ended his 3-year-old campaign. I think he needed that start coming back. He was off, what, an 8 or 9 month layoff there. He got steadied in the race a little bit. He's a recent gelding, and he's got a good speed rider aboard. He got the lead when he won here.
Exactly. I think he is a horse that kind of needs a lead, or at least gets a little bit more confidence when he is in that position. And we do see that the 6 and the 9 have scratched 2 horses who had speed, so that's only going to help his case.
3-1 on money laundering here on the outside, making his second start of 2018. But I think we all, wherever you wind up in this race, I think we all agree to a person that the 7 Smash Williams is a play against here.
Yes.
But still, obviously could still win.
Yeah, Todd Pletcher's aggressive at this meet. I don't think it's really suspicious that the horse is dropping in for 16,000. I mean, how strong was that race for 30 in June at Gulfstream? So, you know, I think he's just spotting him appropriately. But I was interested to hear some of the comments that Maggie made on the 5 Musicality. I mean, he definitely has to run a faster race in order to be competitive with this bunch, but he did manage to beat 9 others off of an 8-month layoff when he broke his maiden.
Somewhat intriguing with that drop here. Just looking at the race, they were pretty slow. But yeah, it's dropping from 40 to 16 on winners of 2. There is the 5 stepping in Musicality. Rajiv Mirage in the irons. Let's see how this Nightcap plays out. Smash Williams, the 7 horse for Todd Pletcher. If it was a wet track, he lays over this field. That is not the case. As Andy said, we got very little rain earlier today. It's been beautiful. Turned out to be an amazing day. It's a fast track. His only try in the fast going was not all that impressive. But can he get it done here on the class drop? Let's send it upstairs to the voice of New York Racing, Larry Colmus, for the call.
They are all in line. They're off. Smash Williams sent out of there. Go Bigger, Go Home's got some early speed. On the inside comes Zenato, who now comes on through and grabs the front of the backstretch. Discreet Mission is close up too, then Can Go. They're followed by Musicality, Analyze Your Luck, Money Laundering on the far outside, Street Cat Sam, Lake Party at the back of the pack. Zenato up top. Ran the opening quarter mile in 22.79 seconds, leads by a neck. Go Bigger, Go Home on the outside is second. Discreet Mission third just outside the top 2. And Money Laundering is going up there 4 deep. Analyze Your Luck in behind them. And then it's Musicality. Smash Williams losing ground on the turn. And they're followed by Lake Party. Street Cat Sam on the outside. And the trailer is Can Go. And they're coming to the top of the stretch. And here comes Discreet Mission on the far outside to grab the lead after a 46.29 half. And taking off here. Discreet Mission and Jose Lezcano pulling away from Go Bigger, Go Home. Zenato on the inside is next, and then Money Laundering, followed by Analyze Your Luck, but it's all Discreet Mission. Discreet Mission in a romp here under the wire all alone. Go Bigger, Go Home was second best under the wire, and then it was Zenato, followed by Analyze Your Luck in 110.96.
Discreet Mission, this was not even close. I still have concerns about his ability to sprint, though.
Yeah, especially even in hindsight, right? Discreet Mission,
Wow.
no, this was a super performance from him, and it just goes to show you how important a class drop is. This is a horse who was facing Allowance Company. He was in for the $16,000 tag. He showed useful speed, guys. He got a good trip, but he was much the best.
He was much the best, no doubt about it. In this situation of cutting back, dropping down, engaged in a fast pace, and what's interesting about this race is the speeds ran 1, 2, 3 around the track together. Now, the winner was decisive, but nobody picked up any pieces. And the 13 horse in this race, Money Laundering, made a move in the turn, but he showed no early length.
Yeah, I think Kendrick was thinking of trying to rate and make a move on the far turn, but the race was over when the 11 got towards the front end. There you see a smiling Jose Lezcano. But the 2 horses that were dropping in class were these 7, the 11, and, well, not the 7, but the 11 and the 13. And the 11 got the job done, guys.
And he did so in dominant fashion here. 7-2 in the end here on Discreet Mission with a drop down in class. That was the difference for John Kimmel, Jose Lezcano, and Whisper Hill Farm. Son of Discreet Cat picks up the second win of his career. And the guys were talking about Money Laundering and Kendrick Carmouche. He was third last after the opening quarter. Not the greatest of beginnings. He got pushed out a little bit out of the gate, but made a big move going into the turn and then just nothing left.
That's what I was fearful about with a horse like that, because he does look like a horse that needs the lead. And sometimes if you don't get off to a good start from that outside post position, others have the jump on you, like the 3 and the 8. So he was just given no shot, as we can see. The winning trainer there, Mr. John Kimmel.
How did Smash Williams do it here as the favorite?
That's confusing.
Has he been cited yet?
Yeah, it's really confusing because when you see a horse on paper that's just eating up so much money, then you throw out that stat, you try to wonder, and he was really buried in the gimmicks. He really was, and he did not run a step.
You could make an argument that Discreet Mission simply should have been favored on the drop down, Gabby.
No, for sure. This is a horse who's just been facing far, far better company. That's for sure. But
And less distance also. I mean, distance is so important, right? He's trying to go a mile against tougher horses. He's just been in impossible spots. And if you're going to win in Saratoga, you better be realistic.
Well, they certainly were with this performance here. Dropped this horse down into the lowest level he's been at yet. Of course, broke his maiden for 40 maiden claiming, but since that time, he's been against much better competition, certainly better than what the rest of this field had been facing, and that pays dividends here. An easy win, and Jose Lezcano picks up another victory. John Kimmel gets his first winner of the meet.
And congratulations to John Kimmel. And he's a good-looking horse, as we can see who's walking through the grandstand right now.
11, 8, 3, 12. Let's go to Maggie Wolfendale.
And joined by trainer John Kimmel here with Discreet Mission, John, a horse that as well owned and joined now by Mandy Pope too. But John, a horse that just needed his confidence back?
Yeah, I think so. You know, he'd been running against a little tougher group of horses, and he was coming off a very lengthy layoff, and get a little confidence back into him, and maybe we can climb back up the scale with him.
I was going to say, Mandy, you've had very good patience and with this horse, and it's helped.
Yes, yeah, we hated to drop him down, but we couldn't get the right thing, and he needed to win for all of us. So we did it, and he didn't get claimed, and I'm thrilled about that.
Well, that's great. So you could try an A other than again.
Yeah. So we're good.
All right. Well, congratulations. It feels good to get a win here at Saratoga, guys.
Yeah, I don't want to wait to the last week.
Yes, poor John. Last year, having to wait to the last week. He's not going to have to do that this time around, Greg.
No, he's not. Always good to get that out of the way and then take that pressure off yourself, and that can open things up for your barn. So well done by John Kimmel, Whisper Hill Farm, and Jose Lezcano. Whew, little sigh of relief with the win here from Discreet Mission. Prices are in. Discreet Mission returns $9.10 for the victory.
That's 5-year-old son of Discreet Cat. Congratulations there, and off the duck early for John Kimmel.
$488 in the pick 4. The Naira Bets late pick 5. $5,192. And the only difference in that in the first leg was a horse who I believe was 7-2 in that opening leg of the sequence. No, 9-2, excuse me, in the first leg of that sequence. Hey, tomorrow in the 4th race, 10% winner's bonus on the Birdstone. If you play the trifecta there, you can do that through the Naira Bets app. That happens before we come on air in race 4 on Thursday afternoon. But we are back 4 p.m. Eastern on Fox Sports 2 and other regional networks across the country. We will see you then. Thanks for watching, everybody. It was an impressive performance in the shine again from your love for trainer Chad Brown, the Flatter filly, picking up the 4th win of her career, owned by Paul Pompa Jr. Javier Castellano aboard for that winning performance. And it looks like we could see her again at the meet next up in the Ballerina on Travers Day. We will see you on Thursday at 4 Eastern.